Good morning. Happy Thursday, everybody. Let me know if the mic's off a little bit. I just switched headphones. I was tired of having that big ass headphones on my head, and it really comes through my ears. So I hear myself very loudly. Yellow. Well, yeah. Oh, Jesus, that is yellow. What happened? How do I un-yellow? Hue shift. Let's see if we can shift the hue. What in the world? Your audio's coming out of my speakers? Hold on 1 second. That's not good. How did you do that? That's not good. Jen, can you talk again? Oh, this isn't good. I'm yellow, and your audio is coming out of my speakers. This is a hell of a start we got here. What? I switch headphones? I can't switch headphones now? Hold on. Let me switch, but I'll just go back to the other headphones. May have to do that. Luckily, they're close by. Damn it, I was tired of having these things over my ears. My ears hurt after the lives from having these headphones on. No. Then it picks up the mic. Try that. Hold on 1 second. All right. Now, talk again, Jen, would you? There we go. That fixed it. That sucks. I don't know. Can you guys hear Jen? Everybody should be able to hear you. They can't hear you? Uh-oh. All right. Let me try here. Oh, this should. What? Oh, it does this. I forget it does this. We may have to restart. Try now.
Now, can you guys hear me now?
Oh, they can hear you. You just.
Right.
I just had to unplug it and plug it back in. There we go.
Just blow in the end.
You wish.
Like an old Nintendo charger or cartridge.
Did you say a car charger?
Cartridge.
Cartridge. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. All right, now we can fix the yellow.
Yeah, because we don't need any jaundice J.
How did I do that? I could turn off one of the lights. Where's my tech people?
Can't you want to adjust? Can't you adjust like the? Isn't there a hue that you can remove or get moved down that makes it less yellow?
Did that make it less yellow or more yellow? What I just did.
To me, you're more yellow.
Great. Contrast. We're looking at contrast. Do I need to turn contrast up or down? It's going up. It seems to make me more yellow, so maybe turn it down.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys are loving it. Oh, that's a little less yellow, right? Looking like a spray tan. Some of you are just guessing. Don't add a question mark if you don't know. Don't put saturation on there if you don't know. I don't know what any of these words mean. So if you're guessing,
it looks okay on one of my phones, but it looks yellow. I mean, like I said, we'll just have jaundice J today.
Turn down the brightness a little bit there. I changed contrast.
Oh, wait, whatever you just did made it like darker. So go the other way.
What did I just do? That. Just change the brightness, I think. There we go.
Okay.
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just always going to look bad. That's
that's all right. It is what it is.
The good thing is we know that nobody is here to watch this show because of how well we produce it. I do know that. If you're here, it's not for the production, and
No,
that makes me feel happy.
it's for the love of the game and the funny jokes, I guess.
Do you want to? Our friend Tony was here a little early. I haven't seen Tony in the chat yet. Tony came.
I
in
replied
hot.
to Tony.
You
Yeah,
did?
I replied to Tony, and he didn't respond back. He maybe had to go pray somewhere.
Tony was talking about someone named Scotty. I'm not sure who that was. Did we ever figure that out?
He didn't reply to me, so I have no idea.
What did he say about Scott? I think you texted to me. I was looking in Discord, but it was text. He said, atheists show the guy hates Scotty, hates Jesus Christ. Hold on, you forgot. You missed the start. It's welcome to the Pig Atheist Show.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Pig Atheist Show. The guy hates Scotty, hates Jesus Christ, hates the Bible, atheist, no punctuation at all, any of this. Hates the Bible, atheist, democratic, God hater.
Yeah. Fuck you, Scotty. Whoever Scotty is. I'm glad he clarified it was Jesus Christ and not a different Jesus.
I mean, Jesus, why is Jesus catching strays? That's not cool.
He's not. That's why I'm glad he specified which Jesus we were against here. So
yeah, Scotty's. I'm sure he'll be back later, and I'll tell him hail Satan again, and all that fun stuff.
What you said? You said
that's what I said to him yesterday. That was one of the things before you deported him. That's what I was messing with him about.
He's another one of those people just sneaking back into the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
So.
All right. Well,
All right.
while you're here, you want to say anything? Jen's been a real asshole this morning, if we're being honest. Jen has not been nice at all. I sent her an idea for a T-shirt. She's like, "It sucks. Fuck you." All right.
No, what you actually said was yay or nay. So you're asking my opinion. Don't ask my opinion on something if you don't actually want my opinion.
Dude, I just didn't need. I didn't need the. You could have done it in a nicer way.
I said I did. I was nice about it. I said I'm not loving it. I didn't say you sucked. But you were not very nice when you replied to me. You said "fuck you," so that's.
Okay, all right. This might have been my fault. Now that I'm rereading the messages, it's clear that it was me that was being overly emotional. You're right. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Exactly. That's how this works. So, I mean,
you're right. Sorry. Hindsight's 2020.
Yep. Exactly. All right. Well, let's get to tapping on TikTok. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Let's get up to. Oh, wow. Our likes are really low. Let's get to 15K likes on TikTok. Let's do 30 shares. If you're on YouTube, hit the like, hit the heart over there. And then on Twitch, I don't know if there's not really anything we can do over there to push it out. So,
no,
yeah.
Just do bits. Whatever bits are, do that.
Yeah, do the bits.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, repost, like, and share. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, I want to talk some sports here this morning. We don't talk enough sports here, and I love really good broadcasters like Jason Whitlock, who his show is called Fearless because Jason Whitlock is fearless. I promise you're not ready for what he's about to tell you is the problem in the NFL, but I'm going to let you watch this.
In 2018.
Fuck. Hold on. I caught it before you guys did.
Averaged more than 250 passing yards per game. These are quarterbacks with 8 or more starts. Let's fast forward to right now, 2025. There are 5 quarterbacks that average more than 250 passing yards per game. Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes.
You didn't come here for sports, but you're getting it today. Don't worry, it will apply.
And Drake May. In 2018, 19 quarterbacks averaged more than 250 passing yards. What are we watching?
Shout out Nick Mullins, by the way. Former 49er great.
What is going on with the National Football League? Has gambling and fantasy football distracted us so much and covered up all the flaws of the National Football League.
Okay, so he knows what the problem is. And the reason that none of you know it, and the problem apparently is that quarterbacks are throwing for less yards. And the problem, and the reason nobody's seeing it is because of gambling and fantasy football. And it's covering up the real problem.
That we're sitting here watching. We're watching quarterback play go directly into the toilet, and we're pretending like we don't see it at all. My contention is the hyper focus on DEI and black quarterback play has diminished merit, has diminished competition, has
it's DEI. Best, it's too many black quarterbacks, he says. It's DEI.
Undermine the pursuit of excellence for the pursuit of quotas. And everybody's play has dropped because of the hyper focus on DEI. DEI degrades everything in sight, including the National Football League.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who's going to tell him that Patrick Mahomes has been the best quarterback in the league for like a decade. I don't know who's going to. I think Lamar Jackson's been the MVP like 3 times. I don't. It's giving Jesse Lee Peterson. It's given a little bit of what is it? Casey Peterson? Is that her name? It's giving a little bit of that too. Isn't that crazy? I was surprised when Jason Whitlock showed up on my timeline. I don't do like a lot of sports on Twitter. So I was like, what's he doing on my timeline? And then that's why he was on my timeline. Because the reason quarterbacks are throwing for less yards is we focus too much on bringing up black quarterbacks. So I don't know. But that we'll leave that. I want to talk about Ryan Walters. You guys remember Ryan Walters from Oklahoma? He was this school superintendent who tried to force the Bible into schools. And then he got caught watching porn, so he quit his job and resigned. And now he works for a nonprofit that tries to force feed Jesus down your throat repeatedly over and over again. And it looks like he's got a little pink eye problem maybe brewing as well. Yeah, it was porn on his TV guy. Yeah. Well, he's back because Oklahoma is saying that the stuff that he did while in office, I guess wasn't lawful. Here he is upset about it.
Oklahomans, the Oklahoma State Supreme Court just launched an incredibly aggressive attack on Christianity, the Bible, on President Trump.
And President Trump, okay? We have to put Trump in there. And the attack, of course, that they launched was hearing a fucking court case, which is what they're supposed to do. So the attack that was launched on the American people, Christians, and Donald Trump is that the courts heard a case. It's very upset about this.
The State Supreme Court striking down the history standards that so many Oklahomans demanded, that we bring back an understanding of the role of the Bible in world history and American history, that we actually have our kids critically think about the 2020 election. They struck down a history standards, spitting in the face of so many Oklahomans and frankly, common sense.
I don't know that many people from Oklahoma. I don't know if Kayla's here. Kayla's from Oklahoma. I have a friend that I play golf with that's from Oklahoma. I don't know if all Oklahomans wanted this, but I don't know any Oklahomans that wanted this. Seems like the courts didn't want this. Seems like the members of Congress didn't want it. And it seems like the citizens of Oklahoma are happy about this. Mr. Global's from Oklahoma. He's got to be the smartest guy from Oklahoma.
These justices should be ashamed of themselves. They should resign immediately. This is outrageous to see this kind of left-wing judicial activism in the state where every county voted for President Trump, where Oklahomans have demanded that the Bible and Christianity be put back in our history classes so our kids can understand the role that Christianity played in shaping this great country.
This dude, You could back off from your camera a little bit, though, too, there, bud. That's a little close.
It is unbelievable
Unbelievable.
to see the left-wing activism here in the state of Oklahoma. I just want to be really clear why it's happening here in Oklahoma. Because we've been the tip of the spear in bringing back common sense back to education. You see the attacks at OU.
Yeah, you're dead fucking last in education. We're the tip of the spear. We're single-handedly dragging down the education in America. Well, you're dead fucking last. What do you mean you're tip of the spear? You're the worst. I'm closer. Am I closer to the camera? How dare you? I'm not closer than that. I can't even reach my camera. This thing's in his grill. How dare you?
On Samantha, the student there, who just simply cited the Bible in an essay. Now you see the radical left-wing Supreme Court justices. Oklahoma.
A lot of radical left-wing judges in Oklahoma that were appointed by conservatives.
We've got to continue to fight for common sense.
Oh, no, we debate Joker's Wild. You have to come up here to debate, though. What do you want me to do? You want me to debate you from the comments? Joker's Wild, since you're here, we'll make this available to everybody. We will gladly debate you. I'm not debating from the comments. I prepare an entire show. It takes me hours to do. I get these clips. You have done nothing. You just came in here and need some attention. So if you want to come up and debate, you can message JenDub1 over on Discord, and you can come up and debate. Yeah, I can debate you, too. You just have to come up here. What do you want me to do? You want me to come to your house, bud? You want me to give you a phone call?
We've got to continue to fight for conservative values, and we've got to continue to fight for the faith that helped forge this great country.
This is not a fucking fight. It's not a fight. Nobody's taking away your religion. Just some people don't want to talk about it in school. This isn't a fight. It's not a war. He's just a bitch. Let's talk about what actually happened there. Because he's saying it's activist judges. It's not. I wanted to cite this though. Friendly Atheist, by the way, and I'll drop a link in the Discord to subscribe to the Friendly Atheist Substack, which was really, really well written. I wanted to highlight some of the stuff from our friend, the Friendly Atheist. You may recall that last December, the draft standards made national news because they were full of religious indoctrination. Walters even bragged in his press release that the new standards mentioned the Bible and its historical impact over 40 times. Are you here, Proud Atheist? Oh, hey. Oh, that's Proud Atheist, not Friendly Atheist. Sorry, never mind. That would have been cool. The news: Oklahoma is putting the Bible and the historical impact of Christianity back in school. We're demanding that our children learn the full and true context of our nation's founding and of the principles that made and continue to make America great and exceptional. I'm proud that Oklahoma's taking the lead in putting President Trump's there we go education agenda into practice. This wasn't even Trump's education agenda. So he just cites President Trump's name so that he can then push his agenda. Trump didn't ask for this. He doesn't know anything about the Bible. Trump couldn't say any of this. He doesn't know enough. We are presenting a successful model that others can emulate for how to restore public education and eradicate radical woke influences from our school. And of course, we're presenting a successful model, which by success, we mean dead fucking last. We have the worst schools in the country, and this is the successful model that we're holding up. That's all it takes. Like, that's what conservatism is. Holding up a pile of shit and telling everybody that it is a delicious dessert. You just say stuff. You just say whatever you want, and you claim that it's a fact, and people go with it. You suck. Oklahoma sucks at education. Uh-oh. We may have some deportations. Just a heads up for those of you in the chat that haven't been here before. We have very strong borders here. So while I'm up here talking, you have to talk about what I'm talking about. You're allowed to mock me, but you have to do it on topic. If you are in the chat and you were trying to distract from the topic that we're on, we will deport you. So just letting you know, we have strong borders here. You will not come in and poison the blood of this country. We don't want your worst. It seems like you're not sending your best. So if you can't keep the rules here, we deport you. You are welcome to say whatever you want about me, and you're allowed to talk shit, but it has to be on topic, or else you got to go. Sterlo, I believe you on that one. What were some of those lessons? First graders would be taught the purpose and meaning of the Pledge of Allegiance and the significance of the phrase "under God." You can see here. Explain the purpose and meaning of the Pledge of Allegiance and the significance of the phrase under God. I will tell you, the purpose and meaning of the Pledge of Allegiance is to indoctrinate people and make them act like they're in a cult and pledge their allegiance to a piece of cloth. There's no fucking point to the Pledge of Allegiance. It's nonsense. And the significance of the phrase under God is that Christians are really sensitive Sallies and they don't like when you don't believe what they believe. So they forced it into the Pledge of Allegiance, which again serves no real purpose and is mostly meaningless. If you like it, great. Say it all day long, and you have the right to do that. But it means virtually nothing. But that's what's the meaning? What's the significance? God, what's the significance of under God? I don't even know. To fight communism. Yeah, that's right. We have to pledge allegiance to a flag. Belittling people for the beliefs that have no, I'm not belittling you for your beliefs. I'm belittling you for trying to force other people who don't believe to claim that there is significance there. If you think it's significant, fine, talk about it at home. Don't bring it to the school, because if you bring it into the schools, we all get to make fun of it, and then you don't get to be sensitive little bitches about this. Can you try to do this in Somalia? No, but you can. Joker's Wild. Everybody give it up for Joker's Wild. We gave him the instructions, and he can't follow instructions. Joker's Wild, you're deported. We don't want you poisoning the blood of our chat. You can come back in 5 minutes when you can follow the rules. No whataboutisms here. No changing the subject. You, my friend, are gone. 5 minutes for Joker's Wild. That's our first deportation day. Come back when you can follow instructions and assimilate to our culture. You silly bitch. See you soon. First graders would also have to explain the meaning of "in God we trust" and the importance of religion to American people. What's the importance of religion to American people? In my opinion, I'm just going to answer these questions as I would if I was a student in Oklahoma. The reason that religion is important in America is because it conditions people to believe their leaders without evidence. And so if you, for example, if you were running this experiment where you were doing like, I don't know, trickle-down economics, and all the data said this shit doesn't work, it's helpful if you have an army of Christians who believe trickle-down economics somehow is also connected to their religion, and that socialism and communism are bad, and Christianity and capitalism are the same, and you get a dumb enough population that they link those two things together. So I think that's been the most important aspect that religion has played in this country. It's allowed a lot of people to believe a lot of dumb shit. Like the fact that like our country consistently murders people all over the world. We invade other countries and steal their resources. And then we come home and we're like, God loves us. We're only able to do this because of God. No, it's the money, and it's the missiles, it's the planes, it's the soldiers, it's the weapons. It's not God. I don't think God wanted us to murder people. That's just my opinion. Second, and by the way, those are first graders that have to answer that question. Second graders would be taught stories from Christianity that influenced the American colonists, founders, and culture, including the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. That what? You can see here. That's not American history. It's not world history. It's not even history. At best, the Bible is full of stories that people wrote down decades after these things happened. King of whorebags. You can't just come in and say things like Trump is the greatest or we deport you. You have to talk about things that are on topic. So that's your one warning, king of whorebags. You got to talk about what we're talking about, or else we deport you, okay? Boring show. Okay. Deported. Bye, bitch. King of whorebags. Have a nice day. Deported for 5 minutes. Come back when you can assimilate to our culture and add to the conversation by staying on topic. The same lie made its way into an 8th grade classes too, since students would have to evaluate the role of Judeo-Christian ideals in supporting colonial demands for independence, as exemplified by the Bible being a frequently cited authority by Americans' founders. Spoiler, it's not frequently cited. Oh, John Gotti, you can go too. Don't, I'm the president here. When you assimilate, If you criticize the president, then you are anti-American. You are anti-RTP. You hate this stream. So John Gotti, you also are being deported. Try and stay on subject, please. But evaluating the role of Judeo-Christian ideals in supporting colonial demands. Does somebody have an answer for that? What is the role of Judeo-Christian ideals in supporting colonial demands for independence? Let's open this up to the class. The Bible is the truth. What? No, you have to be more specific than that. What role did Judeo-Christian ideals play in supporting colonial demands? Goddamn, is Oklahoma's too tough for Trump supporters? This is the state that's 50th in education, and you can't even answer these questions? What role did Judeo-Christian ideals provide in supporting colonial demands for independence? To control the people, that's a good answer. None, another good answer. Slavery, good answer. To convince people that Judeo-Christian is real, show Christian side with Israel, sure. Manifest destiny, preach Jesus to all the world. Yeah, okay. Under God and in God we trust was added in 1954. Good, that important to remember that under God and in God we trust were not part of our Constitution. Jesus Christ is the King of all kings. No, I'm the King of all kings. Tar Heel, you have to say that RTP is the King of all kings or you're being deported. I just want you to know that. Can somebody watch for Tar Heel? You have to say it. RTP is the King of all kings. Otherwise, you have to go to a different country. People get to heaven and realize that God is actually a cow from the cow planet that is millions of years more advanced than us, and how we treated cows was the test. That's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. He's going to tell you to move on. We're disgusting monsters. Oh, go to a different country. If you don't like it, then move, just some dude. If you don't like it here, what are you doing here? Just move. Go to a different country. Thank you. An excuse to devalue others. Good luck with your kingship. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sterlo, I'm also the queen of all queens. That's right. I am in this country, I am gender fluid. So sometimes I'm the king of all kings. I can be the queen of all queens. That's a good point there. All right. For high school students, the indoctrination was even stronger. Christianity and slavery were only connected through Christian humanitarians who called for its abolition, not how the Bible was often used to justify enslavement. So they just cut that part out. Describe how the Constitution was influenced by religion, morality, and the Bible as a frequently cited authority by America's founders. Who's that? Why can't I go back here? What's going on? Let me go back. Oh, it's not back. Sorry, never mind. Here you can see, describe the central features of Christianity in ancient Rome. The influence of St. Paul, the meanings and effects of Jesus of Nazareth's words as recorded by Matthew. What? Can you guys, MAGA in the chat, can you please describe the central features of Christianity in ancient Rome? Real quick. I don't think any MAGA could pass high school in Oklahoma. The dumbest state in the country, the worst education in the country. I don't think MAGA could actually pass any of these tests. It's easy to mock from your grandma's basement. That's a 2-minute mute for you for using your mom's or grandma's basement. You're also not allowed to use the same jokes that we hear every day. You have to be original with your jokes or you get deported. Just some dude, that's a 2-minute deportation for you. Can we also talk about how the Pilgrims came here to escape religious persecution? No, they came here to create a Christian nation. What are we considering ancient Rome? I don't know. That's probably too far. Yeah, didn't the Romans crucify Jesus? Now we're seeing a problem. Describe the central features of Christianity in ancient Rome. Jesus on the cross, I think, would probably be the central feature. Jesus only had 12 Thomas being the best. That's true. All right. Let's go go to here. All right. So in February, the State Board of Education, and this is why Ryan Walters is complaining right now, and this is why we say that this is how our Constitution works. Most of what Republicans complain about is other branches of the government not just capitulating and doing exactly what they want, and then saying we're all screwed if we don't do exactly what Donald Trump wants. In February, the State Board of Education was supposed to vote on approving those Bible-heavy standards. They considered delaying the vote since Governor Stitt had appointed 3 new members of the group, but Walters urged them to hurry it along. He was in a very big rush for some reason. He insisted it was so the legislature could get their hands on it in time, even though the board could have easily voted a month later with absolutely no consequences. What he didn't tell them was that he had modified the standards to add more right-wing conspiracies while removing certain elements he didn't want students to learn about. Walters did not send the new standards with the additions to the members of the board until 4 p.m., the day before the board's 9:30 a.m. meeting. This did not give members enough time to read the new standards, which are around 400 pages long. Some of the members said later that they did not even realize that the new standards were different from the earlier version that they had previously reviewed. The changes weren't discovered until weeks after the Board of Education voted to give these standards a green light. They were first reported by the news outlet Non-Doc. What did Walters changed? Consider a U.S. history course for 9th graders here. The revised version that got approved was much more specific and much more conspiratorial. It said that COVID originated in a Chinese lab. See what I mean when I say, like, they take Christianity and then they bastardize it so that you'll believe other dumb shit? I said that at the beginning, and some of the Republicans got mad, but now we're seeing in real time that that's exactly what they did. Insisted that there were discrepancies in the 2020 election and falsely claimed there were security risks with mail-in ballots and sudden batch dumps. See how they took your Christianity and then they turned it into, oh, this is all together. The election was also stolen. COVID was a lab leak, and the 2020 election was stolen. See how they just merged those things? Joker's Wild. I thought we deported you for 5 minutes. You might get another 5 minutes. Well, only one more chance, Joker's Wild, and it's 24 hours. You got to stay on topic here, okay? In here it says, explain the effects of the Trump tax cuts, child tax credit, border enforcement efforts, including Title 42 and Remain in Mexico, consumer and business confidence, interest rates, and inflation rates prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Describe the effects of the replacement of NAFTA with USMCA. It's literally just like, teach the kids to celebrate Donald Trump. I'll explain these. Explain the effects of the Trump tax cuts. We accelerated our debt. Jobs, GDP growth was all stagnated before we had the COVID-19 shutdown. Child tax credit gave people a child tax credit. Border enforcement efforts. We had this mass immigration surge happened under Donald Trump. He's talking about, again, the first administration. So what we saw with border enforcement efforts is we saw increased numbers of migrants coming to this country claiming asylum. Title 42 and Remain in Mexico policy. What were the effects there? They halted immigration for a little bit. Consumer and business confidence went down. Interest rates largely stayed the same. And by the way, we also kept interest rates way too low for too long, which led to increased inflation on top of the inflation that we were going to get for the COVID bailouts. Describe the effects of the replacement of NAFTA with USMCA. Virtually nothing changed. Almost nothing changed. Expanded European contributions to the NATO spending. That was a good thing that Trump did. He made sure that other NATO countries were spending at least 3% of their GDP. That was good. The signing of the Abraham Accords. That was cool because Jared Kushner got $2 billion and we didn't get peace in the Middle East. So they told you it was about peace in the Middle East, which we didn't get, but Jared Kushner got $2 billion. And now Trump's getting a bunch of money from the Qataris and Saudis. I can answer all these questions. And the successful avoidance of new wars. Did we avoid new wars? Did we have an opportunity to go to war during the Trump administration? I can't remember. It's not a fact, Gamer Hoarder. When you say that COVID was a man-made virus made in a lab in Wuhan, you can hold that opinion, but you can't say it's a fact because it hasn't been proven. You know that we don't know how it's never been proven. See, this is the problem with conservatives. Remember earlier I told you that them being Christian and the reason that they loop in Christianity is because it teaches them to state things as facts that are not facts. They just believe that. And he's not going to give facts. When we ask for facts, he's going to say, "Oh, I bet you thought it was in a wet market." He's not going to give us the concrete facts. He's just going to say that, "Oh, well, you must believe something else." We don't believe shit because we're not conditioned to believe shit. My opinion on COVID is that we don't know. It could have come from a lab. It could have come from a wet market. It could have come from somewhere else. But we don't actually know. It's never been proven. That's my opinion. And it's based solely on facts. And if you say it is man-made and came from a lab, you are sharing your opinion and claiming it as fact. Yeah, that works? Did we lose TikTok? Did I get banned from TikTok already, Jen? Yep. All right.
Something more than that. I'm gonna send you a screenshot.
Said like repeated violations of community guidelines. Is that what it was?
I'll send you a screenshot.
Are you not saying this out loud? Did I do something?
No.
Okay. I'll read comments
I'll
real
send
quick.
it to you.
Cookie said, if you're going to be a country, how do you not have an RTP flag? Good point. Let's make one. I can put it on the wall behind me. We do need to make a flag. Colin said, get him. Swish says, Josh Allen uses his legs as well. Go Bills. I do love Josh Allen. Saw a quote from him saying he was 11 years sober and then he turned 12. But that was a good quote. What is this? Oh, my account has been banned from TikTok.
Yeah, that's what it says. I mean, you've had an account warning for a minute.
It's permanently banned. Can you guys see this? Let's go. I got a perma ban on TikTok.
Oh, I mean, I'll submit the appeal and all that, but
That's crazy. I can't even log in.
I mean, I'm logged in on. Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Cool. TikTok's a fucking joke. Fuck TikTok. I actually don't care if I'm banned forever from TikTok. I really don't give a fuck. They don't pay you anything. They fuck with you all the time. I really don't care. I hope everybody comes over from TikTok. I would much rather not do this with TikTok every day. All right, we'll keep going here. Describe the effects of the replacement of NAFTA in USA. Oh, we did that one. Identify the source of COVID-19 pandemic from a Chinese lab and the economic and social effects of state and local lockdowns. That's not factual. It's just not. This is my problem with conservatives. You guys just say shit like it's a fact. And it makes it so that we can't have real discussions. We got to be able to have real discussions. And we'll never know about the origins of COVID because China's never going to give us access. We're never going to be able to get enough data to definitively say where it came from. So it's a dumb thing to even divide us on. But that's another part of modern day conservatism. Make sure that everything you do is a divide against the other side. I hope only open TikTok a few times, see some celebrities post something good. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to Twitch or YouTube if you're coming from TikTok. We are permanently banned, apparently, which is cool. Identify discrepancies in the 2020 elections results by looking at graphs and other information, including the sudden halting of ballot counting in select cities in key battleground states, the security risks of mail-in balloting. Okay, so let's talk about these one by one. The sudden halting of ballot counting. What did that lead to? Do we stop counting ballots every fucking election? Yeah, we do. We do this all the time. Every election, at some point the night of the election, we stop counting ballots, we send people home, and they come back the next day. This exact thing happened in the 2024 election, and you didn't hear Republicans say a word about it. Why? Because Trump won. That's why. No, this is not satire, Bruce, and welcome. If you are here and you think anything I'm saying is wrong, come up and prove it. That's all you got to do. These are all unsubstantiated claims. And again, like the Republican response is, this guy's a joke. Is this satire? Oh, this guy must be educated by CNN. Not one of you is ever like, here's the actual evidence. Here's the evidence that shows that you're wrong. It's always, this guy doesn't know. I believe in my heart. Who remembers the Brooks Brothers riot that stopped counting and made Bush president? Yeah, thank you, William. Twitch isn't down. I don't think Twitch is down. Yeah, we can ship Gary to TikTok if we need to. All right. The security risks of mail-in balloting. They've never shown any security risks in mail-in balloting. Sudden batch dumps. That also happens every single time. Joker's Wild. You're deported again. You have to stay on. You have to stay on subject. Joker's Wild. We're not whataboutism to Biden. You don't get to move the conversation every 5 seconds. Now you're muted forever. You have 5 minutes to come up here, Joker's Wild, and talk to me by messaging GenDub1 on Discord, or you get muted for 24 hours. Those are your only options now. You have 5 minutes to figure it out, but you do have to stay on subject. Unforeseen record number of voters. Okay, what? More people voted. Okay. And the unprecedented contradiction of bellwether county trends that they went for. This exact thing happened in 2024. We didn't see, nobody saw Trump winning the popular vote, and nobody saw Trump winning all 7 swing states. There was no data to back that up. So what they're saying is because it wasn't predicted, then we need to study it. Well, you would have to do that in every surprise election. Cool, Oklahoma. Analyze the impact of appointments to the U.S. judicial system and Supreme Court. Yeah. Women have less rights. That's what we know. Anyways. Was there anything else on here? The initial version asked students to compare Judeo-Christian beliefs to communism. This is another weird thing that they're doing. Describe the Christian idea of the equality of souls, the Christian ideal of charity, and the renunciation of worldly wealth. I don't know what that means. Equality of souls, charity, and the renunciation of worldly wealth. You guys just elected a billionaire, and he filled his cabinet full of billionaires who are taking money from terrorists. I guess what is the Christian idea of the equality of souls? I'll answer this. The Christian idea of the equality of souls is they only believe that certain people are equal or deserve equal treatment. They might say things like, everybody's equal in the eyes of God, but they don't believe, I guess that's fair. They believe that the souls are equal, but not everybody should be treated with the same rights or equality. The Christian ideal of charity, that's a good one. You use charity as a way to pretend that you're a good person. You give out a small amount of money every year, and then you say, I do this because I'm a good person. It seems to be the Christian ideal of charity. And the renunciation of worldly wealth, again, look at the Catholic Church, look at the Mormon Church, look at the most famous clergy in this country. They're all super wealthy off the backs of religion. Examine the conflict between liberty and equality as presented by Alexis de Tocqueville's Democracy in America. I haven't read that, so I don't know. Analyze the theories, practices, and failures of early 19th century socialists such as Robert Owen's New Harmony. I also haven't read that, so I can't answer there. Christian ideal of slavery. God approves this. It's fine. All right, was there any other ones? I think that was it. Anyways, good job there by, who did I say? What was the name there? Friendly Atheist. Great Substack there. All right, let's get into Donald Trump's speech last night, which we all had to watch because we all thought Trump was going to say something, and then he just did a campaign speech. He did word for word a campaign speech that I've already heard 15 times. They're not outside of him announcing that they were going to give money to military or active military, which is cool. Shout out to you guys if you're active military. Congratulations on your bonus. Thank you for your service. I do wish that we were giving out bonuses because we had a surplus and not just to bribe people. But we waste a lot of money in this country on dumb shit. So I'm not really going to spend time complaining that the folks in our military are getting a check. So happy for you guys for getting your check. I'd rather see it go to you than these billionaire douchebags that are stealing from America. So any money going to our veterans instead of these crooks, I'm fine with it. That's a good point. When did Congress approve that money? I don't know how he's going to. Congress will approve that money. I mean, who's not going to approve that money? Just politically, if you vote no to give money to veterans, they're going to hammer you with that. But yeah, enjoy your dog whistle bonus. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, Johnny Mac, that's a good point. Trump called it a dividend. It's not a fucking dividend. In order for it to be a dividend, we would have to be out of the red, but we're still deeply in the red. You can't have dividends if you are in the red. So it's just money. It's not veterans though. Oh yeah, that's true. Good point, Barb. Thank you. I think I said veterans. Active duty. You're right. Not veterans. It'd be cool if it was veterans. Anyways, here is Harry Enten showing new polling.
He also spoke about jobs, right? Well, you know, John King was talking about the unemployment rate. Look, in January, it was 4.0%. By May, 4.2%. Now the latest reading that was out earlier this week.
Who said that? Hey, Haley said, I saw on Aaron Parnas it was money already approved to go to them, and he's just rebranding it. Jen, can you find that if Aaron Parnas put that up?
4.6%, the highest unemployment rate since 2021. Now, these are the measures of the economy, right?
Republicans, good or bad that we have the highest unemployment rate since 2021? Thumbs up, Republicans, if this is good. Thumbs down, Republicans, if it's bad.
But how do Americans actually feel about it? And all I can say is they feel awfully about it, because take a look here. Percentage who say that we're on the right track when it comes to inflation. Just 20%, just 20% of Americans say we're on the right track.
Actually, these are from White Shark. You have to be original. We have a rule here that you can't just attack the logo. You have to attack the information. So I'm going to help you here. This is your one chance. In this country that you are in currently, this live country, we play by our rules, and you must assimilate to our rules to stay here. While you're here, you can't attack things because of a logo. You can't attack things without data. And you have to stay on topic. So I'm going to help you real quick. This is not CNN. This is Reuters Ipsos. You can see right here, the source is Reuters Ipsos. This is Harry Enten. This is Bay. And this is CNN broadcasting it. But the information is from Reuters Ipsos. And rather than laughing and saying, CNN, just go check the data yourself. But that's your one warning. In the future, you have to be, we don't allow dipshits here. Okay? We don't want people coming from your shithole red states. We need educated people here. We don't want Republicans sending their worst. So if you're going to be here, you're going to have to start getting educated if you want to stick around. Otherwise, it's just going to be an echo chamber here. But we've decided as a country that we will only allow opposition voices who aren't fucking dumb. So you have to be able to talk about what we're talking about, or else you get deported back to the hellhole from whence you came.
The vast majority of Americans think we're on the wrong track when it comes to inflation. What about jobs? Just 27% of Americans think we're on the right track when it comes to jobs in this country. So we're talking about under 30% on two key economic metrics. And then I'll leave you with this, Kate.
For the Republicans here, 27% means that the other 73% don't think we're doing well. So that's a minority. So it's out of 100. These percentages are out of 100. And 100% would mean everybody who was surveyed. So what they're saying here, Republicans, is they do a survey. And a survey is where they ask you a set of questions. And you give your answer, and then they mark down that answer. And then they compile everybody's answers together. And then what they're saying here is, of all these people they asked questions to, which is just like that's what a survey is. It's kind of like a fun way to say you're being asked questions. Then they take the percentage of those people who answered in this way, and they assign a percentage number to it. So this means that less than a third of the people surveyed think that things are going well. And that would mean a majority of the people think things are going bad. Got it? Here we go.
Collins, and that is Donald Trump's economic net approval rating. It is just flat out awful, and it has declined precipitously since the beginning of his second term in office. Look at this. Trump's net
Look what Joe Biden did to Trump's approval rating. That motherfucker. That motherfucker. Trump comes in and takes over in January. He's up 6 points. That's not bad for modern politics. And then goddamn Joe Biden just fucked him all up. And now he's underwater with his approval rating. Goddamn Joe Biden, every time Joe Biden does this to him, just somehow Joe Biden, without saying a word, barely being in the public eye at all, has convinced a bunch of Americans to change their opinion on Donald Trump. Goddamn Joe Biden. Frag out, frag out. You're muted for 2 minutes. You have to attack the source, and you have to attack what we're talking about. You can't just laugh at the logo. You might be too stupid to be here. Might I recommend a Nick Fuentes live stream? A Tim Pool live stream might be great for you. They use small words, and they never fact check anything. You might want to head over there. This is not the country for you. This is an educated country. Your H-1B visa is denied.
approval rating on the economy. In January, he was in positive territory at plus 6%. Way down he goes. Now, according to the latest Reuters Ipsos poll, he is 25 points underwater. Donald Trump was elected to fix the economy. It was a strength for him during his first term, but at this point, it is an anchor on him, and that is why we're seeing poll after poll after poll showing him with a net negative approval rating, and in some polls, the worst approval rating.
Harry is so dramatic, and that's what I love about him most. I love the drama he brings to polling.
He has had in his entire second term.
So that's not good, but it's okay, Republicans. Everything's gonna be fine. Here's Daniel Dell, also from CNN. Now, Jen, can we mute the word CNN? I want to watch people get upset when they can't figure out why their comment about CNN isn't showing up. Here is just a quick fact check. Now, we fact checked in real time as much as we could last night. I understand MS Now was fact checking in real time. But here's just a little fact check from Daniel Dell on Trump's campaign speech that he somehow convinced us all was going to be cool.
So many of these claims have been debunked so many times. The president said inflation has stopped. It's 3%. In fact, September, that 3% rate was the 5th consecutive month inflation had increased. The president also said that he inherited the worst inflation. He said some might say,
Steve Faulkner, it's TDS, not TSD, you dumb bitch, and you need to go live in your other country. Okay, you got to stay on topic with your insults. It's your one warning, Steve. Next time you're not on topic with your insults, then we're going to deport you.
In the history of the country, again, he inherited 3% inflation in January, nowhere close to the all-time high of more than 23%. He spoke of cutting prescription drug prices by 400 to 600%. Those figures are mathematically impossible. If you cut it by more than 100%, people would get paid to get their medications. He said,
Republicans, I need you to explain to me why it's not disqualifying that Trump says he's cutting your prescriptions by 400 or 500%. I need you to explain why that's not disqualifying. And he has said he didn't slip up. He says it every single day. Every day he does it. So not only should that be disqualifying for him, you should be asking yourself, why isn't anybody around him correcting this? You can't do that. You can't. That's mathematically impossible. I need you guys to explain to me why that's not disqualifying. Here's the answer. I can do it. I can just be them. Well, what was I? Because it's better than Kamala. It's better than Joe Biden. That's what they're going to say. Is when they get stuck and they have to defend something, and it's coming. It'll be in the chat here soon. Would you have rather had somebody else? Takes more than a minute to turn the country around. Yeah, but the guy is dumb, Bruce. Bruce, you have to answer the question I ask, okay? Bruce, why is it not disqualifying when Donald Trump says things like he lowered prescription costs by 500%? And Bruce, you do have to answer this question and this question only, or you're getting deported for 5 minutes. You got to go to the back of the line. I'll wait for that while these play. Thank you, Bruce.
Everything else is falling rapidly. Everything else is not falling rapidly. In fact, even on groceries in particular, far more products have increased in price this term than have decreased. He said again, he secured $18 trillion in investment this year. That number is total fiction. Even the White House website uses a figure of $9.6 trillion. And my detailed review found that.
Thank you, Caroline, for the AI overview. Essentially rebranded housing subsidies for active and reserve troops in pay grades 06 and below, meant to celebrate the nation's founding year. Okay, so when somebody said Parnas said that it was money that was somewhere else, this is what we're talking about. So it was allocated through the one big beautiful bill that was a housing subsidy, and they're just rebranding it. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck. No way. No way he's taking a housing subsidy and calling it. Thank you, Caroline, for that. It is unfucking believable. He rebranded their housing subsidy and then called it new money. Well, then here's the other part. The other part of that, and I know it's an AI overview, so I'm not criticizing you, Caroline, but to say that it's a one-time bonus for funded through a combination of higher than expected tariff revenues, it's not. If it's funded through the one big beautiful bill, which is the only way that they can do this funding, then it's not because of tariff revenue. It's because of funding that was already allocated. I don't know what AI overview that. I'm assuming they're trying to like parse through it, but that wouldn't have anything to do with tariff revenue. But cool. You said, listen, Chris, I can't read every single chat, bud. Can't read. I do like Glizzy. You know who else likes Glizzy, Matt? Your dad. He also likes to spit a little bit, and he likes his eyes to water. So picture that for a second.
That figure is a wild exaggeration. He spoke of some states hitting $1.99 for gas. The lowest state average today is closer to $2.40. He also talked about immigration, made false claims there, saying that an army of 25 million people invaded the country under President Biden. It was under 11 million, and that counts millions of people who were rapidly expelled from the country.
Another question for you Republicans. 11 million people entered this country. The overwhelming majority of them came in through a legal process known as asylum. Why are you comfortable with Donald Trump and all these Republicans constantly citing 25%? Oh, did Bruce answer? What was Bruce's answer? I might have missed it. There are some drugs that will be reduced by that much, 500%. Bruce, nothing can be. See, all right, we're going to help you. I'm going to be nice here. Bruce, the most you can reduce the price is 100%. You cannot reduce something by the cost by 500%, Bruce. That would mean they were paying you. This is a good learning experience for us, Bruce. I appreciate what you said. Thank you for staying on topic. Bruce, you're one of the good Bruce is one of the good ones. Okay? He's assimilating, and I like that, Bruce. But mathematically, Bruce, you can't reduce the cost of something by more than 100%. Mr. Bulbul, you are about to be deported. I'm giving you a very simple math lesson that is irrefutable. It can go, it went up 500% to start with. But you can't bring the price down 500%. A whole group. Okay, then okay, then Bruce, then you didn't answer the question. Now we've got to do this again, Bruce. I don't believe you when you say that this was satire. I think that you're a little embarrassed right now, but we'll leave that. Bruce, why does Donald Trump keep saying that? Why is nobody correcting him? Is that satire too? It's just a really fun joke that he's been doing for a year now? I don't think anybody believes you, by the way, Bruce. And I think that you know what happened right there. And it's okay. Swallow your pride a little bit. It's okay to realize you're learning something new. No lie, and you guys are all idiots. Okay, but Bruce, I asked you a real question. Don't make me deport you, bud. Try my best. Why isn't it disqualifying that Trump doesn't understand that? Why are lefties incapable of reading between the lines? Why do you guys read things and not assume that it means something else, fucking lefties? Yeah, listen, we're just reading what you're writing. All right, Bruce, you're getting deported. Sorry, bud. You're not answering the question. You're specifically ignoring me. Bruce needs a 5-minute deportation. We'll see you soon, Bruce. Matt has been a little quiet. He had to call his dad. Dad, have you really been sucking this guy's dick? I don't know. Maybe, Matt. Ask him.
Crime was nowhere close to record high under President Biden. President Trump has not settled 8 wars. That list includes various wars, various situations that were not even wars, and some conflicts that have not actually been resolved. I could go on. I don't have time.
Yeah. Virtually everything he said wasn't true, which is pretty crazy. The attempted spin then as they go on, I don't know who this person is. I think she's one of the new White House press people. She got access to the White House. Her name is, I can't remember what her name is. This girl in the red. This level of spin is diabolically dumb.
I think we all know to be true that if Donald Trump spent that entire address to the nation listing out all the childhood cancer that he's cured or anything of the sort, anything that's good and kind.
I'm sorry. Did Donald Trump cure childhood cancer? Did we miss something? Did Trump cure cancer while he was here? Am I misinterpreting what she's saying? Let's try that again.
I think we all know to be true that if Donald Trump spent that entire address to the nation listing out all the childhood cancer that he's cured or anything of the sort.
Hey, Matt, you're getting deported. Somebody deport Matt Ridenour for 5 minutes. Matt, you can come back sooner if your dad swallows, okay?
I think we all know to be true that if Donald Trump spent that entire address to the nation listing out all the childhood cancer that he's cured or anything of the sort, anything that's good and kind, the Democrats would still find a way to attack him and make him.
Did I miss it? Did he cure some childhood cancer? Yeah, I know he stole from children with cancer. Yeah, they did make a breakthrough with T-cell leukemia. He didn't do that. Researchers did. No, not one person on Fox is going to offer some pushback there. Let's go back. I understand you said if, but listen.
Spent that entire address to the nation listing out all the childhood cancer that he's cured or anything of the sort.
If he spent the whole time listing out all the childhood cancer that he has cured. So she's not saying it. She's just saying that we would still be mad? Okay, fair enough. The way she worded it, this is Deborah Leah, political commentator is her name.
Anything that's good and kind, the Democrats would still find a way to attack him and make him sound like a crazy man. I just watched that speech. Donald Trump was so kind. He was so calm. I think that was one of the most powerful.
He was so kind. He was so calm. He was insane. What was kind? What was the kindness? What was the call? That was insane. He rattled off a speech that he's done 50 other times. I've heard that exact speech.
And just engaging speeches that he's given in a very long time. And he wasn't trying to shout his accomplishment at Americans. He was trying to remind Americans about the truth of the economy, because we've seen a concerted effort by the mainstream media to lie and say that this economy is worse than Joe Biden, that Biden inflation is worse. We've seen the gas prices come down. We've seen the...
Did she say Biden inflation is worse?
Economy is worse than Joe Biden, that Biden inflation is worse. We've seen the gas.
Have we renamed inflation Biden inflation? So is the inflation that's happening under Trump Biden inflation now? Have we just renamed it?
Prices come down. We've seen the egg prices come down. And it's very important that Americans understand the future of the economic policy. The tariffs were not an overnight relief. It's going to take effect in 2026. And I'm very glad to give some more money to our military. And of course, the left will not recommend or not even mention that because they have no respect for our military.
Oh, I mentioned it. All right, MAGA. Are you going to correct her? I mentioned it. I mentioned it before she even brought it up.
God bless President Trump. That was a very kind and compassionate speech.
So kind and compassionate. He's so amazing. He just said a lot of things that were wrong. The criticism I've seen of Trump from that speech is that he lied a lot. And he did, and they're not correcting any of those lies. All right. Kevin Hassett was asked about this morning. And Kevin Hassett is just going to dodge this too. This is a good question here from Morning Joe. Not a big fan normally of Morning Joe. I was happy. The pushback is weak, but the question's a good question.
Struck, we talked earlier in the show. Steve Ratner was here, helped us with a fact check. You know, the president does have some good news to talk.
What did he lie about? He lied about inflation coming down. He lied about the amount of jobs we created. He lied about the amount of money that has been invested into this country, the $18 trillion. He lied about reducing prices for by 500%. Or chat, just list the things he lied about. I'm trying to think other things he lied about. He lied about the amount of drugs that were coming in over our border. He lied about the amount of people who have come into our country since he's been president who have come in illegally. He lied about goddamn near everything.
About the economy, gas prices, for instance, but why the need to constantly sort of exaggerate? Gas prices are $3, they're not $2.50.
There's one. He said gas prices, average gas price in this country is $2.50. Average gas price in this country is $3. So that's a lie. Here's a list of lies that you were asking for. And notice Kevin Hassett, who is about to be the next Federal Reserve chair and who is Trump's top economic advisor, isn't going to say that he didn't lie. He's not going to push back on any of this.
Exaggerate.
East Coast Metals, you have to come up here and tell me what I'm lying about, or you get deported. Welcome to our live. We don't allow smooth-brained dipshits in here to just repeat the same thing over and over again. So, for what East Coast Metals, you either stay on topic, or when you insult me and say what I'm lying, that I'm lying, you have to tell me what I'm lying about. And if you don't tell me what I'm lying about so that I can't respond, we just have to deport you back to your shithole country. So the next time you put out a comment, you have to tell me, okay, great, inflation's down. Let's do this. Let's do this. East Coast Metals. Now, East Coast Metals, if you are wrong about the number, we also demand that you apologize. And if I show you that inflation's not down and you don't apologize, then we have to deport you because we don't do that here. I need to go to a year. Smaller chart here. Let's do by 2025. According to the BLS. All right, well, can I just zoom in here? It's going to be hard to see, but I can read them out to you. So in January, Donald Trump, do we agree Donald Trump took over in January of 2025? His first full month would have been February. Let's go to January. Come on, get me over there. First full month would have been February, which was 2.8%. Inflation is 2.9%. All right, so now, East Coast Metals, now knowing that inflation has gone up, I need you to apologize, or else you get deported. And we'll wait. No. It's about when it came out. Like, it was 9% at one point under Biden. And this is, don't allow yourselves to be lied to. When Biden took it from 9% down, and if Biden did what Trump did, like, look at this. This is all Trump. When did inflation start rising? Under Trump. This is when we saw the increase. It went up, and the whole world had inflation, and it came down, and Biden got it down to, at its lowest point, 2.4%. And when he left office, it was at 2.8%. So, where did East Coast Metals, did we get an apology there? Or did he just run away? No, I'm looking at statistics from the whole year, bud. Trump says it went down. It's up. We can even just do this, like, has inflation gone down under Trump in 2025? Let me specify here. Are we gonna trying to find one that you won't hate? $2.8. 3, and then we're now at 2.9. So sorry, you got deported, bud. All right, back to Hassett here.
Gas prices are $3, they're not $2.50. You know, the idea of...
How about that one? Trump said last night the gas prices were $3, on average $2.50. What is the average price of gas? Right now, the current national average, and you can see this, is $3.13, not $2.50. No. No, listen, Gray Matter, and this, or excuse me, Barry James. This is why I call you guys bitches. If I was saying that inflation was going up under Trump, so he should lose his job, you would have a good point. I'm not saying anything other than Trump lied, and you're missing the point. Trump lied about what the numbers are. What we're doing right now is pointing out that Trump lied. And we talked about this last night, but this is what Trump has done to all of your fucking brains. He lies about something, but he lies about something that you agree with, like the underlying facts. So when he says something last night, like there have been last night he said 100% of jobs created under the Biden administration went to illegal immigrants. That is absolutely untrue. But you don't think jobs should go to illegal immigrants. So then when it's fact checked, and that number is very, very low, I think it's somewhere around like less than 1%. If you take immigrants who are here legally, it was somewhere around like 40%. Then you would go, well, see, that's still too many. What you'll never do is address the fact that Trump lied. Right now, what we're talking about, and if anybody who says the name Joe Biden, in fact, Jen, officially for the rest of the show today, can we mute the word Biden, Brandon, all the things that we normally do, because we're only talking about Trump today. You do this every single time. He lies, we point out the lie, then you tell us that you don't care. That's fine if you don't care, say that, but don't say that he's not lying, because he's lying.
Suggesting that I think a lot of the impact of inflation, yes, some progress made, but not as much as he says. Why not just present American people and say, hey, look, these are the facts. I can understand how you feel. Why the need to exaggerate?
You know, I'd have to go back and look at the specific language, but and I hate coming.
Well, he just gave you the specific language. He said gas was $2.50. It was $3 a gallon. He said the prices came down by 500%, and he said that inflation's down. Just answer those questions, Kevin Hassett, please.
Back with questions for you guys, but the president.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you know about this, Gray Matter Media. This is a censorship-heavy live. We have closed borders here. We only want people in this country that will benefit us. We don't have unfettered immigration here. So if when you come here, if you don't add anything to this country, we are going to deport you back to your shitholes. I'm sorry if that offends you. I thought that would be something you could be on board with. But yeah, that's how we do it here. This is not a freedom of speech place. You have to talk about what we're talking about. It's like going to school. You can't go to school while your teacher's talking about English and bring up whatever it is that you like, Pokemon, and expect the whole class to stop and talk about Pokemon. You have to stay on topic, and that's how we run this country. I do sound like Kamala. Kamala's welcome here. She uses facts. She uses data. She's welcome here. But all of you who won't, and I'm going to give mods a bunch of free reign here soon because I'm upsetting you. You have to stay on topic or we deport you. Okay? If you're going to come to this country, assimilate. You don't get an opinion here. You're new here. Okay? You come to our country and you shut the fuck up and learn how things work here. But you don't get opinions. You don't have the right to vote. You don't have the right to complain. If you're complaining, get out. If you don't like it, leave. You understand? That's how we're running this country here. This is we're running it like the alt-right wants to run this country.
Sure that everybody understood the facts.
Yeah, lame, huh? It's lame. It really is kind of lame, isn't it? When you start judging people by what they say, and if they don't agree with the president that they should be deported, it does sound crazy, doesn't it? Like if you guys came here, and let's just say that all of us were collecting funds and we were using those funds to help a group commit a genocide on another group, and you guys came and you're like, hey, don't do that anymore. And we're like, fuck you, leave our country. If you don't like what we're doing with our money, if you don't like the genocide that we're actively helping to commit, then shut the fuck up and get out of here. And if you don't leave, I'm going to send my ICE agents, my moderators. They're going to track your ass down and they're going to deport you. Yeah, sucks, huh? Jesse said, paying my taxes as a loyal citizen of the country of RTP, the deportation policy is killing me. Joseph said, it's like when they all say sins are equal and then explain how Trump only does harmless sins. Thank you, Joel, for the super chat. Appreciate it. I'm way behind on all these. I apologize. I've not been keeping up. Brianna said, did you hear about the toothpaste companies conspiring to steal mining license? They call it Colgate. I like that one. Burned Out Medic said, my tribute to the deport overlord per Jen's demands. That's right. Deportation isn't cheap, guys. It's not cheap to deport all these idiots. Did I get all those? Jocelyn. Fuck Mary Banish, Hassan Piker, Ben Shapiro, Joe Rogan. Well, I'm marrying Hassan. He's oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, this is actually pretty easy. I'm marrying Hassan. I think that we'll be very happy together. We'll probably have an open relationship. He's an open-minded person. I'm going to give it to Ben Shapiro because he's small and kind of dainty, and it would just ruin his life. It would just absolutely ruin his life. And then I'm banishing Joe Rogan because the world would be a better place if Joe Rogan didn't have access to a microphone. So there you go. That was a pretty easy one. Good question. I think I got all those. All right.
And the facts were documented, spent a lot of time with us, with our team, preparing slides that showed the data for what he was talking about in the speech. And in some networks, while he was speaking, they showed the slides, and in some networks, they didn't. And I just thought that was kind of unusual. I was expecting, when I was flipping around, to just see the slides everywhere. Gosh, we spent so much more time on them.
So instead of answering the questions that he just asked about the specific lies that Donald Trump told, he has now changed the conversation into, why didn't you show the slides that we spent so much time working on? Could you just answer the question, please, Kevin Hassett? This is why Kevin Hassett shouldn't be the Fed chair, because he's a politician. He's playing politics. He doesn't answer questions. He was given specific examples of lies, and he's like, I worked really hard on my PowerPoint presentation, and you guys didn't even show it.
But, I think that the president had documentation for the facts that he was saying. They were in the slides.
John Gotti just got a 24-hour mute. John, you got to stay on subject. You're out of here, you whiny little bitch.
And so if there's a specific number you'd like to talk about, maybe he misspoke or something, I'm happy to talk about it. But I wonder, did you...
He did. He told you. He just told you. He gave you the inflation numbers, and he gave you gas prices. Could you talk about that, Kevin Hassett? By the way, tell me Kevin Hassett doesn't look like... who's the guy that is... What's his name on Harry Potter? He's Scabbers. He's the rat. He's the one that can morph into the rat. What's his name again? Tell me he doesn't look like Scabbers.
I show the slides? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know whether we showed the slides or not.
You should get them.
Peter Pettigrew. Tell me that's not Peter Pettigrew but they dressed him up for this interview. Ask Peter Pettigrew.
Literally, and maybe show him to Ratner and see what he thinks, because the slides were fact-checked by the Council of Economic Advisors, and yeah, that's why I mentioned them.
Yeah. I was just going to suggest, Kevin.
Oh, my God, he is Colin Robinson. Somebody said no, he's Colin Robinson. Yeah, I think we've done this, too, before. We might have made that connection before. What's his name in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad? He is Colin. Damn, good call.
I think we should have Ratner's charts and then Kevin's charts, and you can walk us through them.
Vika, we're not talking about January 6th. Anybody who's talking about January 6th right now, we're going to deport you. You're going to get a 5-minute deportation. Please stay on subject.
So anyway, anytime
I'll be here tomorrow morning.
You want to bring charts?
I'd love to. I would really love to do that. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. The J6ers are about to get booted out of here. All right. This was amazing. Scott Bessent went out, had a nice wine date last night. Two things I want to address. One, this is going around because someone's yelling at Scott Bessent. But the other thing I want to
special guest here. And
the other thing that I want to point out that I don't think anybody's talking about is I'm pretty sure this is Barry Weiss right here. You'll see like a closer video, but I'm pretty sure Scott Bessent was out to dinner with Barry Weiss, who is in charge at CBS now. She's the I don't know what her role is, like is she executive producer? I don't know exactly what her title is, but I'm fairly certain this is Barry Weiss right here. And nobody's talking about the fact that the president's people are consistently running all their shit through Barry Weiss, and now CBS is just running propaganda for this administration. But this is unbelievable.
We want to make a toast for the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent. So let's give it up for the man who is eating in peace as people starve across the world based on his sanctions, which are economic warfare.
Of course you're going to boo this. It's the truth.
He oversees the death of 600,000 people due to sanctions annually. And this president, let's cheers to the Monroe Doctrine. Trump today said that Venezuelan oil.
And you have no idea how ignorant you are.
Ignorant. You are responsible for the death of 600,000 people annually because of sanctions. How many people are going to die because of the blood is on your hands?
The blood is on your hands. You should be ashamed.
Should not be able to eat in peace.
They're picking on me. Don't let them eat in peace. I like that. It's fine. You're going to go out. People get to yell at you. Freedom of speech. Lefties can't debate. Let me tell you something cool about you, Grant. No mute button. And we ran out of people who were willing to debate. So then I had to go to your guys' platforms and I had to debate. And I've debated the people that you probably follow. You can go find those debates. They're listed. Every single day here, I beg you guys to come up and debate me. And every single time, you cowardly little bitches say, debate me from the comments, which I'm not going to do. So you can come up here and debate me. You can message Jen on Discord. It's JenDub1. It's the same as the Venmo username. And you can come up and you can debate me. But we have learned, and the chat will tell you, we've learned over time that if we give you some way to come up here, you will find some way to not do it, and you will complain. Okay, Chuco Town, today is the day. You will debate me any day. Come up right now, or you get deported. Message JenDub1 on Discord. We will bring you up here. Everybody can hear you debate. Grant, I will give you also the same option. I do think that illegal immigration is about brown people for a lot of you. And I do not think it's about subjugating the Electoral College. So come up here and debate that. But I'm not going to debate you from the comments all day. I work hard. I prepare a show. Nobody wants to sit here and watch me debate some no-name, no-faced person from the comments. That's not good for anybody. This is my job. So you're welcome to come up here and debate anytime. Lee said, daily taxes to land of RTP. Thank you for the daily taxes. We appreciate that so much. And just a reminder, guys, we are crowdfunded, so anything you can do to help us knock out that gift goal every single day is greatly appreciated. We are a long ways off, and that's mostly my fault because I have not been attentive to the messages, but I will do better probably, and Jen will remind me, and Jen's going to start guilt-tripping you. Jen's Discord is... well, no, you can come up here and you can debate. There is a Discord server. You can go into our Discord server as well. Just ask a mod if you want an invite to the Discord server. We also are a little strict on there too, though. If you go into our Discord and you just start trolling people, we'll just almost immediately kick you out. We want real discussions and only real discussions. We are not a free speech platform. All right. Peter Navarro, this was actually before last night. And I had this on the outline last night, but then we went too long. Peter Navarro went on News Nation, and this is one of Trump's other economic advisors. Some people say he's his top advisor. I would disagree with that. I think he's pretty dumb, and I actually think most of the Trump administration thinks he's dumb too. You might know him by his stage name, Ron Vara. He pretends to be other people sometimes so that he can defend himself on the internet. But here is Peter Navarro. Just simply ask, like, we're bleeding jobs. Like, we have net negative jobs in the Trump administration. The unemployment rate is going up. Now, there's reasons for that outside of it's just Donald Trump. I'm not even making the claim that it's Donald Trump. But the problem that we have, and the reason that we struggle to get conversation, is because we can't get past that. People who are who voted for Trump, who are in the MAGA universe, won't address the reality. The reality is unemployment's going up and we're losing jobs. And Trump's plan seems to be doubling down on AI, which will kill more jobs. So we need to be able to have this discussion. But to be able to have this discussion, we first have to be able to acknowledge the fact that unemployment is up and that we have had a net loss in jobs. Again, I'm not making the claim that this is Donald Trump's fault. I am making the claim, however, that Donald Trump refuses to engage, and any of these people engage on, like, what's actually happening, what the real numbers are.
Complicated, but the first question, Peter, why are we seeing job losses? It's happened 3 out of the last.
Grant, I am going to mute you until you come up. Grant Rosendahl, I've asked you 5 times. I'm not debating you from the chat. I don't know how more clear I could be on that. Can somebody mute Grant for 5 minutes? Grant, you can take this time while we deport you and figure out how to come back the right way. You need to learn how to assimilate. When you come back, you can come up here and you can debate me. Not debating you from the chat, though. Thank you.
Last 6 months.
Well, certainly with the government, that's by design. We're trying to make government lean. If you go back,
is this new to you guys? That the job losses now are by design? Let's go back. Let's get the whole question. I did cut it off just so let's listen to the question.
Complicated, but the first question, Peter, why are we seeing job losses? It's happened 3 out of the last 6 months.
Why are jobs going down? Now, you guys said that I'm lying that jobs are going down. Peter Navarro isn't even going to lie and say jobs aren't going down. He's going to say,
well, certainly with the government, that's by design. We're trying to make government lean. If you go back to the Clinton.
The job losses that we've seen, and I think the claim that he's trying to make here is that the job losses are only in the government sector. That's not true. Non-farm payroll is a net negative on the year. So when you guys see a jobs report and the jobs report says we added 67,000 jobs, those are just new jobs. It's not a net number. Net on the year after revisions, we are negative. We are net negative. That's what he's asking, and Navarro's telling you it's by design.
Gore years, that's exactly what they did
Navarro's
when they got in. It's not a partisan thing. It's government gets too big because I'm looking at the Capitol right there through your beautiful window here. It's like they spend too much money and things get out of control. So a lot of
that has nothing to do with jobs, bud. Not one of these people that represents your president are coherent at all.
That unemployment, lost jobs was government workers taking the buyouts, and going to the sidelines.
But which I showed in October.
Yeah.
But then there was also June. There's also August. ADP. The private numbers have been negative 4 out of the last 6 months. You know this, and so I'm trying to get a sense. Set government aside. Why is this happening?
Well, let's.
Good question, by the way. I don't know who this guy is. These are good questions. I wish that more people pressed like this. Shout out to News Nation and whoever the fuck this guy is. Alfredo said the new inflation report's missing data. Yeah, we're missing November and December, or November and October. D. Freezy said my contribution to the RTP will build that wall. Thank you. Just a number said mass deportation's expensive. That's true. It's very expensive. Great, good question though here by News Nation. I appreciate this.
Let's look at the overall composition of the labor force when President Trump took office. We were basically running an employment factory for illegal aliens. Literally every job we were creating was going to illegal aliens. Now,
is that true? Let's just look at this. Did all of the jobs created under Biden go to undocumented immigrants? Let's look this up. You see the search there? No, the claim that all the jobs created under President Biden went to undocumented immigrants is false. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics indicate that a significant majority of the job growth is among U.S.-born workers. So let's not trust the AI overview here. Let's go to the BLS. Are they going to... Let's see if it's down here. Let's see if Forbes links to it. I'm going to teach you guys how to fact check, too. Holy ads, Forbes. Do I see a link there? I don't see Forbes has a link. There it is. So now instead of trusting Forbes, we're going to go to the link and we're going to look at civilian labor force levels. So we're going to look at Biden took over in January of 2021 and he left office in January of 2025. So these are civilian-born or civilian labor force that are foreign-born. 32,000 total. And what were they citing here? The foreign-born in the U.S. labor force have declined by 735,000 since January 2025. That's not what we're actually looking for. That would just show the decline. I don't know where he's getting this number. Let's see if this fact check. I didn't remember Trump saying this in 2024. I thought this was a new lie. Did you guys remember Trump saying this in 2024? The number of employed American-born people in the workforce has grown about 6% under Biden, and the number of employed foreign-born people has grown 22%. Under Trump, employed foreign-born people in the workforce decreased 1.6%, but American-born employees in the workforce also fell 1.4%. Job growth under Biden extends beyond a post-pandemic bounce. Back in February 2020, there were 15.2 million non-farm employees in the U.S. compared to about 15.4 or 15.8 million now, marking about a 4.4% increase in total jobs. Trump's regularly claimed that the jobs created under the Biden administration have gone to illegal immigrants. He made a similar claim last week. Felix Koenig, a professor of economics at Carnegie Mellon University, recently told Forbes it's difficult to say whether changes in the labor market are a result of certain presidential... Yeah, I find no evidence of this. It certainly isn't 100%. Just a made-up claim. Don't you think that would be cool if you guys demanded that the president back up a claim? And now we have Peter Navarro up here making the same claim with no evidence.
Running an employment factory for illegal aliens. Literally every job we were creating was going to illegal aliens. Now, they're leaving in record numbers. They're not moving fast enough because they're still holding jobs of citizens here, but that's going to be a healthy trend. To the extent that we're moving jobs out of government into the private sector, that's also a very healthy trend because...
So why would unemployment rate go up then? This is what I need somebody, one of you MAGA economists, to explain to me. So if we're removing people who are here illegally, and that means it's opening up jobs, why is the unemployment rate going up? Can somebody, one of these MAGA economists, explain this to me, please? I don't know how this is. How's this all like? How does this work? Thank you, Heather, for sending the gifted memberships as well. Thank you very much. Did we have any of them here, or did we, by threatening them to do an actual debate, did we get rid of all of them? Anybody? I would love an answer. You guys have a lot to say about me. You love calling me a liar, but every time I ask you, I'm finally giving you an opportunity to debate from the comments here. Anybody, can you explain why the unemployment rate's going up if we're getting rid of these people who are taking jobs from Americans? If we've deported this many people, then the unemployment rate is a record of like Americans, and if they're working, why is it going up? The reason it's going up is because Americans are lazy. That's why. That's probably the answer. What did I lie about the average comment? Gradual decay. When we were talking about the average gas price, what was the average that I lied about? I'll check that. I'll check from you in a minute.
Private sector jobs are much more productive, and they add to the growth of the economy. So, I mean, if you look at today's report, I think it was a good report in the sense that.
Did Trump not say that the average gas price was $2.50 last night? Gradual decay?
We were above estimates. We are used to months and years of creating a couple 100,000 jobs a month, right?
Yeah.
But that
64 is a lot lower.
No, but you have to adjust your thinking on that because we were bringing in 20 million new people.
11 million, not 20 million. Trump said 25 million. They don't even have their numbers right, but we already fact checked that. That's a lie. So what they're telling you is expect less job creation now. Expect unemployment to go up.
To the workforce through illegal aliens. So that became the norm. In order to be steady state, in order to hold the unemployment rate at a
Trump never said average? Is that what you're saying? What word did he use? I'll pull that up in a second.
A reasonable level. We don't have to have that kind of growth. It's more like what we had today in the 60 or 70 or 80,000s.
So how?
All right, let's see if I can find the clip of Trump saying this then. What word did he use?
Car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly, and it's not done yet.
All right, that didn't give us the gas prices quote. Let me see if I can find it. I go latest. Let's go media. Actually, maybe if I'd search 250. Can you mute people who say cry all you want? Mute anybody who's doing cope stuff, guys. When you come here and you discuss this with us, you have to stay on topic. You can't just insult people and say dumb shit like Trump's your president. Everybody knows Trump's the president. Go to a dumber place. If there's lives where people don't know that Trump's the president, you can go there and you can inform them. But everybody here knows that Trump is the president. Let's see. All these clips are not from last night. Let's see. Dude, what does she say?
Did you look at what I just sent you? Or did you see it?
Oh, you have a transcript. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. I'll control F it. Let's go through the... It's not loading very quickly. While that loads, I'll keep looking here. If anybody has the clip of him talking about gas prices, I can't find it on Twitter. Can't watch the whole thing to find it. Jen, that's not loading on my end for some reason.
I'll search for it. I had to go in. It came from the Times, New York Times. So I had to get it behind the paywall. So
Okay. If you could, yeah, even if you can just screenshot it, that'll work. All right, we'll pull that up. We'll table that for now. All right. Let's see. Okay. I want to talk about what happened in the House yesterday. We're moving on from Trump's speech. We'll come back to that when Jen finds the transcript, and we'll figure out exactly what his claim was. I appreciate that. If we're wrong, we will happily. What are you LOLing about? You haven't proved something yet. All right. In the House yesterday, there was a pretty gross thing that happened. They took, and in fact, do I have this here? Let me see if I have it. Yeah, this is what happened. So Riley Moore, who's a Republican from West Virginia, was presiding over the House, and they were voting on whether or not to pass the Republican bill. And what I want to show you here is the votes as they're happening, and you can see in real time how corrupt Republicans are.
On this vote, the yeas are 204, the nays are 203. Previous question is ordered.
Now, the reason that people are yelling right now is this is Dan Goldman right here. Dan Goldman is clearly in the room trying to give his vote, and Riley Moore, because the Republicans had a lead of 204 to 203, decided to call the vote done. And this is Dan Goldman trying to vote. And they didn't let Dan Goldman vote. He was late, but he was there in the well, which is the rule that you get to vote. And you'll see the outrage here.
Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. For what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts
vote,
rise?
Mr. Speaker?
If you have questions, Corey, about what you're allowed to talk about, right now what you're allowed to talk about is Dan Goldman not being allowed to vote. So just whatever's on the screen you can talk about. You can't do whataboutisms, and you can't change the subject. And I am a dictator, 100% a dictator.
He was in the will, Mr. Speaker. He was in the will. This is an outrage.
A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their vote by electronic device. This is a 5-minute vote.
Goldman's not allowed to vote. And you might think Republicans are celebrating this. They're like, we did it. But it actually pissed some people off, including Republicans. And we'll get to that in a minute. But first, I want to show you the debate that happened. Let's start with Mike Johnson, where Mike Johnson is going to do what Mike Johnson always does, call something a red herring that's not a red herring.
We couldn't find consensus on it with the body in order to pass it. Here's the reason. Everybody needs to understand there's a false narrative out there about these subsidies. It's subsidizing insurance companies. And when you do that, you're masking the cost, the rising cost of healthcare, and you're making the premiums rise even further. But here's the false narrative. The Democrats are pretending as though this affects everybody in the country. It affects 7% of Americans.
Nobody's talking about that. But the Republican defense here is, yes, it's going to fuck over 7% of the country. Yes, prices are going to go up. Yes, we don't have a solution for any of this. No, we're not going to do a goddamn thing about it. But the real story, Mike Johnson says, is that these subsidies only affect 7% of the people. So just so you know, we're shitty, but we're not as shitty as some people say we are. That's their actual defense.
This extended subsidy. And of those, even if it was extended without any reforms at all, it would only reduce that small group of Americans' premiums by 5.7%. We couldn't find...
Great. We should help them. Right? That's all he's saying. Well, it's not as big a problem as they say it is. So the fact that we're going to cause these prices to go up, nobody should care about. Here is the CBPB explanation of what's in this bill. Now, the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, which is nonpartisan, they have scored this, and what they've essentially said is that prices are going to massively increase, and they'll cite that in here, if we do not extend these subsidies. They also scored the Republican plan to increase prices as well. So the Republican plan will increase prices more than they're expected to go up. And I'll show you some videos on that here in a minute. But the Republican plan, Republicans doing nothing would actually be better than the plan that Republicans are putting out right now. But I wanted to go over to, some key components here. Number one, that the Republican plan does not continue the expiring premium tax credit enhancements. So you had Obama PTC, premium tax credits, and those got extended to people who didn't qualify for those credits during COVID. So more people got access to these credits during COVID, and they were meant to expire, which is the right thing to do. When the Democrats put these in, these are not sustainable tax credits. We can't do them forever. So they put a sunset provision, which was this year. And the plan was, and because Democrats can't do a goddamn thing, is they didn't come up with a plan. They also didn't win the election. And so there's nothing to replace this plan with. Republicans are running on, oh, it's the Democrats' fault that these subsidies expired, so we're not going to extend these subsidies. But it's actually the Democrats' fault. That's a silly thing to do. Yes, it is the Democrats' fault for having a sunset provision. Yes, it's the Democrats' fault for not winning the election. And yes, it's the Democrats' fault for not having a clear plan. But that doesn't change the fact that the Republicans have no plan until now, and now their plan will make the prices go up more. Republicans are just like the Republicans in this chat. They don't want to address reality. They just want to blame Democrats. So, knowing that if these credits expire, millions of people with low and moderate incomes will face higher costs. People with incomes between 100 and 150% of the federal poverty level will lose their access to silver plans that have $0 in premiums. The enhancements have been a lifeline for people with low incomes, especially in states that didn't expand Medicaid. Mostly red states, by the way. Many people with slightly higher incomes will experience big premium increases that could force them to make difficult trade-offs as they struggle to afford health care and other basic needs. For example, a 45-year-old in Shreveport, Louisiana, which is where Mike Johnson is from, that is earning $32,000 a year, which is 200% of the poverty level, would face an annual silver benchmark premium of $2,159, which is an increase of $1,500. So the average person making $32,000 a year in Louisiana, Shreveport, will see their monthly bill rise $1,500, where they were paying about $700 a month. So they're going to go from $1,700 to $2,200 a month. Take $2,200 times 12. What's that number? $26,000? That's what they're going to pay? They make $32,000. This is, monthly. This is going to take up all of their income. So they're not going to have health insurance. They're just going to risk it. That's a good point, Burnett Medic. All this for one's ego to destroy Obama's legacy. Amy correctly points out it's going to hurt red states and small business the most. D. Freezy, thank you very much. I think I might have got that one already. Let me check here. Shannon said, happy almost Christmas. Thank you very much for that. Let me check Jen's as well. Aaron said, ban Nico Tin 1K from Twitch chat for 24 hours. Mods, you can make that decision. All right. Here was, by the way, fact check this, not to go back, but
gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't, by the way.
So he said, yeah, you're right, actually. He said in much of the country. You're right. We were wrong about that. He did not say on average. My apologies. But why did he say that? Why didn't he just say what the average price is? Thank you. See how easy that is to correct it when you're wrong? He did not say on average. Thank you. Not a single state. Well, he didn't say a single state. He said in some places it's under $1.99, and that is true. All right. Meanwhile, people with incomes above 400% of the poverty level, $62,600 for a single person and $84,600 for a married couple, will face very high premiums and receive no premium assistance. This will leave many people unable to afford their coverage and create a cliff in which people with incomes just over 400% of poverty lose support altogether. For example, a 60-year-old earning $63,000 would face a premium for a silver plan of $17,000 a year. More than 1/4 of their annual income if we let these subsidies expire. So they're not going to have health care either. The Affordable Care Act, too, it changes in if its changes in the funding of cost-sharing reductions would further raise premiums for many. Again, this is the analysis of the Republican plan. The ACA's cost-sharing reductions help people with low incomes who are enrolled in silver marketplace plans afford their out-of-pocket healthcare costs. In 2017, the Trump administration stopped reimbursing insurers for the cost-sharing reductions that they're required to provide to lower-income consumers. Insurers responded to this. So when Trump went and started gutting provisions in Obamacare, the insurers said, okay, we'll just build that cost into the premiums. So insurers responded by Trump deregulating by increasing the price. Right? Now, they say that they didn't do that, but that's what happened here. Because PTC amounts are based on silver plan premiums, they rose as well, helping people better afford marketplace coverage. The House Republican bill, however, would directly fund CSRs. While this sounds like a positive, the move actually reduces PTC amounts. On top of the decline in PTC amounts due to expiration of the PTC enhancements, which are PTC's premium tax subsidies, or credits, that's what we added during COVID. So these are the temporary ones that are sunsetting. Will drive more people into lower value plans, exposing them to higher costs given those plans very high deductibles, an average of approximately $7,500, and high cost sharing requirements once the deductible has been met. So the Republican plan is, what if we gave you shittier insurance? It'll be a little bit cheaper. It'll be shittier. It'll cost you more out of pocket. But when they talk about their 11% decrease, it's because they're talking about putting people on shittier plans. It would undermine the ACA markets and protections for people with pre-existing conditions. This is the part that is just like diabolically evil. It expands association health plans, a type of health plan that trade associations, professional groups, and other organizations may offer their members to cover self-employed individuals and small businesses as if they were large employers. By allowing more people to enroll in coverage not subject to ACA standards and consumer protections, this would segment insurance risk pools. Individuals who are younger and healthier, or small businesses with younger or healthier employees, could get plans with lower premiums because they would be priced separately from ACA-compliant coverage. The reason that you forced pre-existing conditions onto these insurers is to make sure that if you're not healthy, if you have a pre-existing condition, that you don't have to pay exorbitant amounts that are unaffordable. It forces healthy people to subsidize insurance for non-healthy people. And you'll hear Republicans say, well, isn't that the fair way to do it? No. No, it's not. It's not the fair way to do it, because eventually, if you are 30 years old and healthy, at some point you're going to be 60 years old and not healthy. 60 years old and you will need some sort of treatment. And so as soon as you're not healthy, you have to switch to a plan, and that plan is going to be so much more expensive, and you may not have the money to do that. That's why you put everybody in one pool. That's why every other country has said we're going to do single payer, because it pools us all together and it spreads out the risk. Yeah, asthma would be a pre-existing condition. Yeah, this is what every other country has figured out. This seems that the costs for states on Medicaid will also rise, causing more taxes in the states. Potentially. Oh, man. I see somebody, you dummies or psychopaths just can't understand. What's the reality, Toker? You have one chance. Toker, remember, in this chat, you can't just generically insult people. You have to tell us what we don't understand, Toker. Otherwise, we remove you. I don't care. I don't really care about viewership numbers. Like, we just want a place here where we have real discussions. So you have to explain what we don't understand. And same with you, Nico. You have to explain what we don't understand too. All right. In addition, the bill would undermine protections for people with pre-existing conditions. While it would bar AHPs from rejecting individuals or charging them more based on certain health factors, it would give them greater ability to base or small groups or self-employed persons' costs on their health risk compared to individual or small group coverage. This would likely lead to higher premiums for older and sicker small groups and self-employed individuals, making such arrangements more attractive to healthier individuals and groups. Exactly what Amy Lynn said. This is going to really, really hurt small businesses. It's working as planned. Toker, you're gone. Sorry, bud. You're too stupid to be here. You got to go to a dumber live. Whoever YouTube mods, Toker88 is banned for 24 hours. Go someplace dumber. If you can't follow simple instructions, you can't stay here. So that's the analysis. Let's talk about how the Republicans argued this. First of all, Mike Lawler, before they went and they put up a discharge petition, Mike Lawler, a Republican, was out on CNN telling CNN that this Republican plan won't work. And the reason Mike Lawler has to do this is because Mike Lawler represents Republican constituents who are going to see their healthcare premiums skyrocket, and they'll vote him out if he doesn't stand up against this. He's doing the right thing.
Have to be a compromise, and that's been my point from the start. Do the work. Right. Do the bipartisan compromise. And frankly, Dana, this is important. Yeah. Both leaders have failed here because we don't have a bill on the floor, and Hakeem Jeffries is sticking with his 3 years or bust with no reforms. Okay. So it creates a real challenge to get something done.
But Hakeem Jeffries does not have the power to bring something to the floor, as you know.
With the discharge, yes, he does. With the discharge.
Right.
With the discharge.
I mean, but that's why you did it. I'm saying.
Okay, so that's why Mike Lawler signed a discharge petition. Hakeem Jeffries had no power. Republicans won't put up a serious bill. And so now, after Republicans voted to pass their bill, Republicans joined with Democrats and they passed a discharge petition. And now we have to vote on the premium tax credits. Marjorie Taylor Greene is absolutely fucked on this one. I've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene going back to the hits lately. She's going back to advocating against trans people. But she has a problem in her district where she comes from a poor red state, which means that her district is going to be disproportionately affected by this. She has a ton of her people on these programs, and here's how she explains it.
Health insurance is the coming crisis that we're trying to work on in the House right now, but they waited too late. Speaker Johnson kept the government shut down for...
Joe Curry, we would not have universal health care if we stopped giving our tax dollars to illegals. We're not giving tax dollars to illegals. Some states are giving small benefits to them, and other countries that hate us. If we've done that, you realize Donald Trump claims that he's taken that money away from giving to illegal immigrants, and that we're also not funding these other countries that hate us. And the Republicans, after doing that, are advocating to get rid of Obamacare. They're not advocating for universal health care. If that were true, Joe, if what you were saying was true, then Republicans would be advocating for single payer. You're just trying to complain. You're just trying to make up any excuse possible. By the way, we could give money to people who are here illegally, and we could fund countries that hate us, and we could still afford single-payer health care. You know how I know that? Because we already pay for private health care, and it's more expensive. So single-payer would be cheaper. That's how I know we could afford it, because we already can afford something that's way more expensive and shittier. So why couldn't we afford a cheaper, better version? Of course we can afford it. Stop allowing your hatred of immigrants and foreign countries to make it so that you support politicians who won't do what's best for you.
8 weeks, not the government, I'm sorry, the House of Representatives kept us out of session for 8 weeks during the government shutdown, but yet we could have been in Washington working day in and day out preparing for this upcoming crisis. In my rural district, I have 75,000 people that are...
Not agree with single payer, or you're wrong, but if you don't agree with single payer, you have to offer some sort of argument. It can't just be like, illegals! You have to offer some sort of argument. And if you don't, then yeah, I am going to kick you out.
...are on ACA tax credits. And here's the truth for the Republican Party. The large portion of those 75,000 people are Republican voters. And so this is a real issue, but instead of working hard to come up with a solution. They have waited to the last minute, and we're literally weeks away from those expiring.
Do you think Republicans are going to rue the day that those Obamacare subsidies expire?
It appears to be that way. There's a lot of arguments going on in the conference, and that's been happening all day today on the House floor.
Yeah, it seems.
Ashley says, where is that? Where did it go? Pregnancy is almost a year long of care and considered a pre-existing condition. If you lose coverage mid-pregnancy or need coverage after getting pregnant, they can deny you. This would be very bad. I agree with that. Thanks, Ash. Economy doesn't work like you want. Reciprocal tariff work very good. We have $21 trillion on table. No, we don't, SDM. You have to. We do not have $21 trillion from tariffs. I'm going to need a fact check here. How much has the United States brought in from tariffs? We have brought in between 200 and 257 billion. Not even fucking close. I'm going to need an apology from you. Who said that? SDM-E8M. You have to apologize for your fake news, please, or else we got to get rid of you. You have to apologize for citing incorrect information, or else we get rid of you. Sorry about that. So did you notice when I cited something incorrect and somebody brought up that I cited incorrect information, I corrected it and apologized? I'm just asking you to do what I do. I'm setting a standard that we follow here. And when I get things wrong, we correct them. In this country, part of assimilation is admitting when you're wrong. You have to check your ego to live in this country over here. It's on news. I didn't ask if it's on the news. They lie on the news. I need you to apologize. I need you to say I was wrong and I apologize. Otherwise, we got to get rid of you. RTP, we can't say brought in. It's U.S. businesses paying that money. It's our own money. That's a good point. It's also a tax. It's just people here being taxed. Good point, Tildy Maggie. 270 billion stolen from the American people. We're going to take a break here real quick while we wait for the apology from SDM. While we're waiting, play an ad. Like, nobody's as soft as a conservative. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Those conservative men are soft as shit. That's why every time you go to a conservative podcast, it's like, and now to our sponsor, Blue Chew. Your dick can work again. You don't have to scream at women when your dick doesn't work. This'll fix it. No surprise there. SDM is a cowardly bitch and will not apologize. So SDM, E8M, thank you for your visit to the country of RTP. We are now deporting you, and you have to go someplace dumber and someplace without integrity. We demand integrity here. If you say something wrong and you're caught saying something wrong, you apologize. You are deported. And Corey, you're also deported for 5 minutes for bringing up trans people when we're not talking about that at all. Deportation orders for Corey. 5-minute mute. Don't worry. Corey will be back. Corey doesn't have anywhere else to go. Soy Boy RTP, thank you. I appreciate that. We are pro-soy in this country. If you want, actually, if you go to my store, if you go to our merch store, it's in my link tree. We have a Soy Boy Beta Cuck candle that you can purchase. It smells lovely. There's lots of different flavor or scents. They are 100% soy. It has my picture on it, and it is called Soy Boy Beta Cuck. So appreciate it. We like soy. We like boy. We don't mind betas, and we don't mind cucks here either. So appreciate it. Let's keep going. All right. Check out Chip Roy. Chip Roy. I got to admit, I kind of like Chip Roy. I think he's wrong a lot. But there's at least like a level of respect that I have for Chip Roy that I don't have for other people. Chip Roy is a true believer. He's a true believer in some dumb shit. But Chip Roy generally doesn't give a fuck. And he generally doesn't give a fuck if it's Republicans or Democrats. He winds up siding with Republicans all the time. And he takes some bad positions. But it's got to be frustrating as somebody who, like Chip Roy, who actually wants to get something done. He's actually here to legislate in a way that I don't like, but at least he's there to legislate. It's got to be frustrating for him to sit there as a Republican and sit through these hearings. It's like, oh, so nobody's doing anything, but we're all pretending that we're doing something. I throw that out to Democrats, too. The Democrats' plan is to extend subsidies, which is a Band-Aid. The Republican plan is to take off the Band-Aid and allow the open wound to fester and get infected. And the Democrats' plan is to keep the Band-Aid on there but don't really do anything else. These are two dog shit plans. Just one of them, less people will die. And Chip Roy's sick of it.
Listening to nonsense about health care, where my colleagues on the other side of the aisle sit here saying, well, you guys aren't doing anything about the massive expensive cost of health care. Why do you think it's expensive? Because you literally cut a deal with insurance companies to run health care. You think that's going to run wild? Yeah. That's why they have 2,000% profit increases, and the American people can't afford to go to the doctor of their choice while we enrich insurance companies.
This is what the most amazing part of this whole discussion and all these people in Congress. Everybody recognizes that the insurance companies have seen 2,000% increase in profits. Everybody recognizes that. And what Republicans are doing is blaming the government for the insurance companies raising their prices. And I'll get to some more of this data too, why it doesn't make sense. But maybe the insurance companies are the problem. Maybe the fact that they're able to raise their prices and profits by 2,000% is a fucking problem. Maybe it's not operating within the free market as it's intended to, so maybe we should remove it from the marketplace because it's not operating in the way that it should. Maybe that's why.
And yet Republicans will complain about it, and then they'll offer milquetoast garbage like we're offering this week, and then go home.
Forever calling this the milquetoast garbage bill. Is a Republican telling you that what your people are offering? Trump had concepts of a plan. He's had those concepts of a plan for years. Mike Johnson said, we have binders full of ideas. We have a comprehensive health care plan that we're going to roll out next week. Actually, it'll be next week. Finally comes up and they're like, our plan is that you can buy shittier insurance if you want. It's literally the Republicans' plan. Let the subsidies expire and try and get people to buy shittier insurance. That's the whole fucking plan.
At Christmas and say, look at what we're doing. We're campaigning on reducing health care. Well, congratulations. At some point, people will look at this body and say, maybe we should get rid of all 435 members of the House and all 100 members of the Senate and start over because Congress is literally failing the American people. I yield back. And now
I just liked that. Who was it? What did you say? The ACA made the health insurance companies untouchable. Listen, dude, ESP. I respect that you are trying to get to an answer, but what you're doing is everything that is said, you're trying to figure out a way to make it Democrats' fault. And that's a stupid way to look at things. Health insurance is a scam. Whether the government funds them or not, they're a scam, but Republicans want it to exist. Republicans are fighting for it to exist, and a bunch of Democrats are too. And there's a handful of people like AOC and Bernie Sanders who are saying we shouldn't let a scam keep going. We should do something different. Don't get stuck into this like duopoly. Neither one of these people has a good plan. Neither one of them do. There's only one plan that actually makes fiscal sense. It's Medicare for all. And the reason that all these Republicans and some of these Democrats are not advocating for it is because their pockets are lined by the health insurance companies. PBMs are also a big problem. PBMs also shouldn't exist. Who says that? Bernie Sanders, AOC. I don't know if you're new to this channel. Like, I don't like the Democrats, but if you don't think that this is a problem with Democrats and Republicans, then you're just not being honest with yourself. Honestly, you're not. Republicans the Republicans' plan is to give more money to these health insurers. So I don't know how you could possibly blame that on Democrats. It existed before the Obamacare. It existed after. This has always been the problem. Health insurance should not exist. Not in a for-profit way. It's a scam. They have no accountability. Every year they make record profits. Every year, record profits, and they never lower prices. Thank you, Proud Atheist. Just factually, on its merits, It's not an ideological thing. And this is what sucks, is the reason that people are opposed to single payer is because they have been convinced that they actually are ideologically opposed to the government paying for health insurance. Somewhere along the line, somebody has convinced you that you have an ideological opposition to that. You don't. It's made up. If you did have an ideological opposition to that, you would not support the police, you would not support the fire department, you would not support the military, you would not support public schools, you would not support libraries, you would not support internet, you would not support the power grid, you wouldn't support interstates, you wouldn't support highways, you wouldn't be able to support anything that the government does. You are not ideologically opposed to it. You've been told that you're ideologically opposed to it, and so you just say, yeah, I am. But you're not. And who is driving that messaging? You didn't come to those ideas on your own. They've been forced into your head by Republicans and Democrats alike who are collecting checks from the health insurance companies. So please, do yourself a favor. Analyze whether or not single payer would work or not, and analyze it on the data. And if you go through all the data and you can make a coherent argument that it's not a better solution, I'd love to hear it. But you can't just keep doing this like both sides shit and leaving us with a terrible choice between leaving the Band-Aid on or ripping it off and having an open wound. It is pathetic that the world's richest country is having this discussion right now. It's absolutely pathetic, and it's because a handful of insurance companies are able to buy off politicians relatively cheaply, and then those politicians message at you, and you come on here and you repeat the same shit that they said. Go here. Jim McGovern took us down a trip down memory lane, and I thought that this was brilliant.
But the truth is, they've always said they have a plan, but they've never had a plan.
Donald Trump ran in 2015 saying, my healthcare plan will be out next week. It's 2025. It's been 10 years, no plan. When Obamacare was passed, Republicans in the House came out and said, we'll be releasing our own plan. As soon as we get the House back, we're going to put our plan in place. No plan. So for 15 to 20 years, Republicans have been claiming they have a plan, and they just complain about Obamacare. And they complain about Obamacare, but what they're actually complaining about is the private health industry. But because they can call it Obamacare and they can link it to Democrats, they call it Obamacare. But it's actually the health insurance industry that they're complaining about. Obamacare is private health insurance. It is not government health insurance. It is run by private health insurers, and they need to increase their profits every single year. So it's subsidizing big business, which is the favorite trick of Republicans. Every time you guys introduce legislation, there is some sort of subsidy or bailout or tax break for rich people, including these folks. This is who you are, Republicans. You want this, but what the Republicans have been able to do is lie to their constituents and say that this is Obamacare. This is private health insurance, and the government is helping fund it. The problem is not the funding. It was a problem before we funded it. It's a problem now. The problem with private health insurance is that they don't give a fuck about the people they're insuring. Their end goal is to make money, so they will cut corners wherever they can. And if they run into a wall where they can't cut corners, they just go to Congress and they line some pockets and they get that obstacle removed. And none of you know, none of us know, because it gets thrown into some bill that's totally unrelated to healthcare, and there'll be some little tax break or some little provision that they get rid of, and nobody ever knows about it.
Let me just go through a list of things here. In February of 2016, then presidential candidate Donald Trump said, we're going to replace Obamacare with something so much better.
Thanks, Belinda.
Nothing followed.
Jeremy said, wait until you're my age. Blue Chew's great. Dude, let me just say for the record, I play that Blue Chew ad to piss off Republicans. Take a fucking Blue Chew. What, your dick can't be harder? It is. I only say it because it makes them mad because they're like, my dick works. How dare you say my dick doesn't work? Even if your dick works, take a Blue Chew. Just do it anyways. It'll be harder. You'll last longer. Just do it. I'm with you. I want to be clear on that. I play that ad just to make them mad. I'm pro Blue Chew. I've taken it. It's fucking great. Feel like a king. I didn't know that much blood could get down there. It's a great thing. I just do it because it makes Republicans mad because they do, like, that is their target demographic. I saw, whose podcast did I see the other day that was doing a
Shane, this is the shit we've talked about.
What, did I say that I did? Well, I don't care. I'm going to be honest about that.
This is the conversation we've had.
We got to stop shaming men about their dicks. We got to stop pretending that a little bit of help, like, it's better for everybody. Like, if you've got a partner with a dick, don't you want it to be harder and last longer?
That's really quick. No, Bobby, unrelated. Bobby Joe, no, I'm making fun of you because you look like you're 75 years old and you're probably maybe 40. And you've got that filter on your PFP. You look like dog shit. And you're talking about things. I'm not jealous of you. I look younger than my age. You look like a literal bridge troll. And you were talking about a conversation that we weren't having. So sit down, Meemaw. Anyway.
I love it. Thank you for interrupting for that, Jen. That made my day. Right. Jeremy did say, wait, tell you my age. Blue Chew is great. I think I got that from Shannon. Guys, I know I haven't engaged that much. We're way off on the gift goal. If you can help us knock out that gift goal by the end, it would be great. I might have to stop deporting so many people. Jen's been telling me I'm deporting too many people.
February 27th of 2017, the president said, we have a really terrific, I believe, healthcare plan coming out. Never did. May 10th, 2018, Donald Trump said, but wait till you see the plans that we have coming out literally over the next 4 weeks. We have a great healthcare plan coming out. Nothing happened.
Jen, Bobby Joe said, look at me and look at you. It looks like Bobby Joe wants us to show a picture of her. You can go ahead and DM it to me. We can compare if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'll drop it on.
Okay.
People have seen me.
They did say, Bobby Joe did say, look at me. I think Bobby Joe wants us to look. Bobby Joe, if you don't want me to put up that picture, Bobby Joe, because I don't want to dox or criticize you. If you want me to put it up, I'll put it up. I'm not going to do it if you don't want me to. So we'll look for your comment. But if you want me to put it up, we'll put it up for you.
I mean, she said it.
She did, but I don't want to be involved in doing that. So.
Air Force One in May of 2019, he said, we're coming up with a great health
She said,
care
go for
plan.
it.
We're going to have a fantastic health care plan that's coming out in the next 4 weeks. Nothing ever materialized. June 16th, 2019, President said, we're going to produce a phenomenal health care plan, and we already have the concept of a plan, and it will be so much better health care. Yeah, well, we'll be announcing it in about 2 months, maybe less. Nothing happened. Fox News interview, the president said, we're signing in a health care plan within 2 weeks, a full and complete health care plan. Nothing happened. July 2020, the president said, well, we're going to be doing a health care plan. We're going to be doing a very inclusive health care plan. I'll be signing it sometime very soon. It might be Sunday, but very, very soon. Nothing happened. August 3rd, 2020, the president says we're going to be introducing a tremendous health care plan sometime hopefully prior to the end of the month. It's just about completed.
We're only halfway done. That's how long this timeline is going to keep going.
Nothing. September 15th, 2020, the president says you're going to have a new health care. We have a whole bunch of alternatives to Obamacare that are 50% less expensive and are actually better. Nothing. Never happened. September 10th, 2024, ABC News presidential debate. He says, I have concepts of a plan. You'll be hearing about it in the not too distant future. Nothing happened. December 8th, 2024, he said, we have concepts of a plan that will be much better. You'll see it very soon. Produced nothing. In May of 2025, at a White House event, he says, so we're going to be maybe coming up with something. I think this gives the Republicans a chance to actually do a health care that's much better than Obamacare. Nothing. People are sick and tired of the empty rhetoric. They're sick and tired of you saying you have a plan and you never produce one. All you want to do is undermine health care for hardworking average Americans.
I feel this in my bones with Jim McGovern because it's similar to what we're dealing with here. Like, we're just tired of you guys complaining and offering nothing else. So we're going to demand that you engage in the conversation and stop complaining. That's why the deportation's here. It's exhausting dealing with you whiny bitches. Not one of you ever, like, just come up, tell us what the other plan is. It is a pathetic existence to just play the blame game all the time. And I would not be friends with anybody in real life. I would not engage with somebody in real life with every time who I talk to, where every time I talk to them, they just blamed somebody for all of their problems. We all know, like, just in our own personal lives, that if you are the type of person who wakes up every day and blames everybody else for your problems, one, you're probably miserable, and two, it's not going to get any better because you're not taking any accountability. So why then do you do it in politics? Why then do you stomach and regurgitate politics in the exact same way? One, you're doing it again. Jesus fuck, man. The Democrats does the blame game constantly. See what you're doing? You won't engage in this conversation. I agree that Democrats do that too. I'm talking about you, Juan. I'm talking about you engaging in a conversation like a human fucking being. And while I'm talking about this, you go, the Dems do it. You do the thing, the very thing that we're complaining about, that you guys won't engage and you just blame the Dems. You just blame Dems. I don't fucking care about Democrats. I don't like them at all. I'm critical of Democrats. I just have been critical of Democrats today. Their plan sucks a bag of stinky, moldy dicks. It's not good. It's not a good plan. The only reason I'm doing this is because it's slightly better than the Republicans. Slightly. It is dog shit versus moldy dog shit. But Jesus Christ, like, can we get you guys to engage at some point on something? Or are you all just going to complain your way through these next 4 years so you don't have to address reality? All right, Bobby Joe, your wish is going to be granted here. I will not be participating in this. This is actual Bobby Joe. This is the Republican thing that they're all doing right now where they, for some reason, make themselves look like a child in their profile picture. Bobby Joe wanted this picture up here to say that she's better looking than Jen. I refuse to engage, but Bobby, you brought this on yourself. I'm not going to be editing what's said in the chat. You asked us to do this. I don't know why you asked us to do this, but there you go. That's Bobby Joe. You guys can do your thing. All right, moving on. Let's do this. Let's break down this argument, because the Republican argument is, one, that they've offered something that offers lower prices, and two, that our plan, that the Democrats' plan is to enrich the insurance companies. The reason that's silly is because that's also the Republicans' plan, but the Republicans' plan to do it has extra steps. And it'll make things more expensive.
Now, let me make one last point. We could easily move away from health insurance companies ripping people off. We could do what the vast majority of developed nations do and move toward a public option so that people don't have to choose a private health insurance company. But to say that Democrats are the ones who want to enrich insurance companies is absurd. Mr. Speaker, Republicans support big banks. They support big tech. They support billionaires. They support tax breaks for huge, greedy corporations. And they accuse Democrats of being in the pocket of the insurance industry.
Let's correct one thing. Democrats are in the pockets of the insurance agencies. So are Republicans. Now, 8 out of the top 10 people who get money from the insurance agencies, lobbyists, are Republicans. Republicans do get more money than the Democrats from the lobbies. But there's a handful of Democrats who want to abolish private insurance. Those are the only Democrats that you can say are not lining the pockets of these insurance agencies. So it's all of the Republicans and about, let's call it 75% of Democrats. And there's 25% of Democrats who are advocating for the right things. So it is fair for Jim McGovern to call out the hypocrisy from the Republicans. It is stupid for Republicans to claim that it's Democrats who are lining the pockets alone of the insurance agencies. And it's also fair to say that a lot of these same people that are on the side of Jim McGovern are doing this because they want to line the pockets of the insurance agencies. Does it benefit the insurance agencies if we continue these premium tax credits? It absolutely does. Does it force them to raise prices? No, it does not. Will they raise prices? They absolutely fucking will. Will it lead to record profits? Yes. Why? Because they don't give a fuck about people. They just need their profits to go up every single year because the whole fucking thing is a goddamn scam. And so fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, fuck Obamacare, fuck the Affordable Care Act, fuck all of it. I don't care about any of it. We need single payer. But until we have single payer, we need to do what's best every single time. And what's best this time happens to be the Democrats' plan, which because nobody's done anything this whole year, and because we're just a few days away from these credits expiring and people not being able to afford health insurance, we have to throw a Band-Aid on this. We need to make sure that people don't die, and then we need to do some real work and come up with a real fucking plan. That's the answer to this. If you don't want to do single payer, well, then you're going to have to keep doing these subsidies. Otherwise, people are just going to die. Or you could say, as a Republican, if you don't support the Republicans' plan and you want your own plan, you could say, let's just let people die and abolish health insurance altogether, and the government also shouldn't pay for it. But if you are supporting the Republicans right now and you're supporting Donald Trump and you think they're doing the right thing, you just need to know that their plan is to just encourage people to buy shittier insurance because they can't bring down the prices. So their only way to bring prices down is to encourage people to get shittier plans. That's the reality where we're at. Democrats aren't offering a good plan. Republicans aren't offering a good plan. Democrats' plan's a little bit better. We don't have a vote in this anyways. So we should all just encourage the candidates, whether it's Republican or Democrat, we should encourage the people that we're voting for to advocate for a single-payer system, which will drive down the price, which will give everybody health insurance. We'll never have to have this fucking debate ever again because there will not be different prices depending on where you live. Everybody will have health insurance. What's up, Jen?
Bobby Joe wants her feelings hurt.
I'm not going to engage in
No,
this.
she's asking for my picture.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's asking for what I look like.
All right. You got it. I don't know if I can make. There you go. There you go, Bobby Joe. Let the people do what they want to do. What did I just see there? A couple of comments here. Blue Chew contribution from Burned Out Medic. Frankie said, go get yourself some more Blue Chew. You too, Jen. Jeremy said, more Blue Chew. Stay hard, brother. Wendy said, Feisty Jen may be my favorite person in the whole wide world. Thank you, Belinda, as well. I missed some. I don't think so. There's my Blue Chew. Sully. Sully. Bobby Joe, listen, you can talk shit all you want. You're getting killed in the comments. If I were you, I would just let this one go. It's not going to go well for you. I don't condone this type of activity, but if I were you, I would stop. This isn't going to go well for you. Okay, let's get to Joe Neguse talking to Tim Wahlberg. This was the Republicans' opportunity to sit before their opposition and advocate for their plan. This is where they get to debate the merits of the plan. So here you have Republican Tim Wahlberg from Michigan, I think, and Joe Neguse from Colorado. And they're talking about AHPs, which stands for, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Allied Health Professionals. So these are like, excuse me, not Allied Health Professionals, Association Health Plans. Sorry, that's the UK one. Association Health Plans, which are like group insurance for small businesses. So this kind of allows like multiple small businesses to collectively bargain, work with other small businesses, and they can buy group insurance with multiple organizations together rather than just trying to, like if you're a small business and you have 10 employees, maybe you can get a better rate if you partner with some other small businesses and now you have 100 employees. So you think you can negotiate a better deal. And these AHPs, that they're asking for here basically allow you to skirt some of the Obamacare provisions, like pre-existing conditions, paying for certain types of care. So the concern here is that what these businesses will do, especially if you hire just young people, is that they will take all the young, healthy people and they will all put them on one plan, leaving people who are not either young or healthy to have more expensive plans. And this will exacerbate the problem that we have, where healthy people will pay nothing and people who are sick will have exorbitant prices that they can't pay for because a lot of times those people can't work.
I mean, it sounds like you're a big fan of these AHPs.
I certainly am.
Are you on one?
It's an option.
Are you
it's
on
an
one?
option. I'm not. I don't have to be on this. But I want to
talk. I don't have to be. Why don't you have to be? Because you're a member of Congress and you guys would never put yourself on a plan like that. You put yourself on really, really good insurance plans. I don't have to be because I'm a lawmaker and I write the rules, and we wrote into our rules that we get really fucking good insurance.
And you don't have to be.
I have insurance otherwise.
What kind of insurance?
A good insurance.
Not an
That's
AHP?
not the question.
Well,
what about the small businesses?
Do you get essential health benefits?
What about the employers?
Wait a minute, Mr. Chairman.
The question is, do you want to give the same opportunities to small businesses and employers?
I think that the people should have
like
the same.
Like you give to the large corporations.
I think they should have the same insurance
Absolutely.
you have.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
I suspect that your plan covers the essential health benefits under the ACA. Am I wrong?
I would assume it does. Not maternity.
Why can't they get that?
Not maternity, because frankly, I'm too old.
Well, I appreciate that, but why can't your constituents get the same essential health benefits?
They can. Give them
the
opportunity
Not
for
under
these choices.
Let me help you with this one, just me. The way insurance works, you're always paying for somebody else. That's what insurance is. And this is what I mean by, like, the Republicans have you guys so fucked up and so turned around that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. When I pay my health insurance, and I don't file a claim that year, I'm paying for everybody else's claims. So if you're, again, I pointed this out earlier, if you're advocating that nobody should pay for each other's stuff, then you should also advocate for the abolition of health insurance, that it shouldn't exist. But if you, that's the whole point here, is that people can't generally afford like a big emergency, so you collectively pool your money together and you pay each other's bills. Just like when they do a freeway renovation, they don't come to you and have you write a check. We pool our money together. That's what the government does. That's how we pay for education. It's how we pay for the fire department, the police department, for roads, for national parks, for libraries, anything the government does. This is how taxes work. And this is what I mean. Like, they have you so fucked up that you don't even recognize what the function of government is. And you don't recognize that all health insurance is collectively pooling your money, except they get to keep 30% of that money for themselves for simply writing a check to pay your bill. So you get the privilege, health insurance, you get the privilege of giving them money. They keep 30% of that money. And they get to line their own pockets with that 30%. And all they've given you is the ability to use that insurance once you pay your deductible. So if you have a $5,000 deductible and you're paying $1,000 a month, cool. Once you decide to use that health insurance, you have to pay the first $5,000. So you paid $1,000 a month just to have the opportunity to pay the next first $5,000, so that then they will start paying your bills. But you also have to go to the right doctor, and that's all going to be very confusing too. And if you accidentally go to the wrong doctor who's not in that network, that $1,000 a month that you paid doesn't mean a goddamn thing. They're not going to pay for any of it. So I think a better solution is we take all this money that we're already pooling and we put it in one spot, and we have the government write the check to the doctor. And the government doesn't make profit off of this. So instead of the insurance keeping 30% of your money, the government's going to keep between like 5 and 8% for administrative costs. And so your money's going to go further. And when you go to the doctor, you could choose any fucking doctor you want to. And when the doctor finishes their care with you, they're going to send a bill to the United States government, and the United States government is going to write a check. And it is going to cost you less to have this system. You won't have a copay. You won't have a deductible. And it will cost Americans, on average, less. I don't trust the government. Then fucking move to an island where there's no such thing as government. What, you trust the insurance companies? I don't trust the government, so I'm going to give my money to for-profit insurance companies instead. Literally, every argument against universal health care is an argument against private insurance. When Obamacare was getting pushed, the Republican strategy was, let's talk about death panels. You know how I know that? Because I worked for the Republicans at the time, and we were campaigning with Mitt Romney, and we were talking about death panels. You know who has death panels? Private health insurance. Oh, well, then they'll ration your care. You know who rations your care? Private health insurance. The difference is, if your government rations the care, you can vote for new people. You can't vote for new people in private health care. They just tell you to go fuck yourself. And you're like, but what? And they say, I don't care. I'm going to call my congressman. That's fine. We already paid for that congressman. You're not getting shit. And by the way, thanks for waiting on hold for 3 days for us to tell you to go fuck yourself. I've told this story before, too. My mom was an educator. She has a master's degree. She was an educator her entire life. She paid her entire life for the most expensive healthcare, or the best healthcare offered through the state. When she retired, she got to keep that healthcare. My dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma. And the doctor said, we need to start this treatment immediately, like yesterday. And my dad started his treatment after like 5.5 weeks. Why did it take so long? Because the people that were treating him were getting the runaround from the insurance company. And the insurance company wanted to make sure that it was done as cheaply as possible. And so every time they presented, like, here's the care plan, the insurance company would say, we're not paying for this, we're not paying for this, you need to try something else. And so for 5 weeks, while my dad was stage 4 cancer, where the doctor said you need to start yesterday, had to wait 5 weeks to start treatment while they negotiated with the insurance companies. So all the things that you, like, there is not a single argument you can make against single payer that you can't also make against the private health insurers. But the difference is, at the very least, you have some ability to affect change if it's single payer. You have no ability to affect change if you stick with private health insurance. Thank you, Tanya. Good point for whoever said that. If you want to talk about wait times, we're number 2. We have the second longest wait times in the world behind Canada. Everybody else that has better wait times than us has single payer. And I also wouldn't advocate for Canada's system. Canada's system is not the right solution for us either. I wouldn't advocate for the UK system. I don't want the government involved in administering medicine. I only want them writing a check to the doctor. And that's what Medicare for All does. It turns us into essentially a health insurance provider. So we're just writing the check. I don't want them determining, I don't want them paying the doctors. Like, I don't want them putting doctors on salary like the NHS does in the UK, like they do in Canada. I don't want them setting a baseline of salaries. I just want them writing the check. I want to take that 30% profit that the health insurance companies are making right now, and I want to get rid of that, and I want to take that money and I want to pay for more care. I don't think anybody needs to make billions of dollars off of writing a check to pay for health care. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Patrice, for asking those good questions.
Plans for these choices? Absolutely. It's not required. You don't think, well, are you saying Ford Motor Company doesn't give it?
I'm saying
Don't you think unions give it?
Of course they do. There are a variety of plans.
Of course.
Once
and
it's
why
no longer
would,
a legal requirement.
Why would, in the competition in the marketplace, small businesses not want to give their employees
I hear you,
the same opportunity?
I think that, Madam Chair, I only have one more.
There you go. So they'll advocate for a system that gives them way worse than what they have. That's what Republicans are arguing for now. We want to give you these shitty programs. Well, are you on that shitty program? No, because I'm a legislator and I gave myself really good insurance. Pretty cool what your Republican folks are doing up there, right? I'd like to point out, too, that the Republicans don't give a fuck about this because it's not a winning issue for them and they have no solution, which is why they never, ever address this. They're only addressing it now because these provisions are expiring and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and their constituents are coming to them and saying, hey, we're fucked if you don't do something about this. It literally took people being on the verge of financial collapse for Republicans to finally act, and they came up with just get shittier insurance.
I wrote this down. In your opening, you said, I think I quoted this right, I hope we can work across the aisle on this issue. How many legislative hearings has this bill received in your committee?
How do you fund $30 trillion in 10-year healthcare spending, lawmaker? How is it funded now? How's $30 trillion funded right now? Let's walk through this. Who asked that question? Let me go back up there. I didn't say, if I said 30% profit margins, I misspoke. 30% of the money that you give to health insurance companies goes towards operating costs, which includes money that they're giving to their CEO. So if I said profit margins, that was me misspeaking. But what I'm saying, 30% of the money goes into their pockets to pay for what they want to do. Medicare, it's about, I think it's between like 2 and 5%, depending on who you're looking at. I've seen as high as 8%. So I always say between 5 and 8%. But how are we paying for that $30 trillion? We pay premiums. Thank you. So right now, we can pay for $30 trillion, can't we? No. Brian, if you're paying, let's say that you're the average American family, and you're paying $20,000 a year for healthcare premiums. If we did universal healthcare, if we did Medicare for all, you would see a tax increase. And you would pay, the average American would pay about $10,000 a year in additional taxes to pay for universal single-payer healthcare, Medicare for all. But you wouldn't be paying that $20,000 anymore. So you've just made $10,000. But because of the broken brain syndrome in the GOP, you're not equating like money. You think a premium, like money going out from your pocket, is different than money going out in taxes. Why wouldn't you pay less? Why wouldn't you be on board with paying less? No, if you make $30K, you're not going to pay a damn thing. If you make $30,000, you're probably not going to pay shit for your health care. These are averages. So if you take the average that Americans will pay, it's going to be about $10,000 a year to pay for Medicare for all. And yes, rich people would also pay more. There's also a tax, there would be a speculation tax on Wall Street that would help pay for it. But on average, Americans would pay about $10,000 a year, which is about $10,000 less than we're paying right now for healthcare. So yes, Brian, if you are wealthy, and if you have if your job covers a lot of your health insurance, you might see an increase. Your tax base is your median income, not rich people. Brother, when you break down Medicare for all, and you're saying like the average American will pay $10,000. The average American now is paying $20,000. We're using the same set of data here. Okay, we're taking the rich and the poor, and we're taking the median. The median is $20,000. The median for Medicare for all would be $10,000. Unless you're rich, you're going to save money. And you don't have a copay or a deductible. And you never have to hear about rising premiums again. Are you talking about the Medicare for all? I mean, we can just pull it up here. Maybe we should just go over this. I don't know the last time Bernie updated the numbers, but let me get to it real quick. So here's the options. Here's how it would be financed. Let's see if I can load. How do I zoom in here? My zoom. Oh, there it is. Let's get down to where the saving would be. Okay, so here's the options. A 7.5% income-based premium paid by employers. That would raise $3.9 trillion over 10 years. Businesses would save over $9,000 in healthcare costs for the average employee under this option. Obviously, these are older numbers. The percentages still apply, but like we're up to $20,000 for private health insurance. So these are going to go off 2016 numbers. But saying that in 2016, employers paid an average of $12,000 in private health insurance premiums for a worker with a family of 4 who makes $50,000 a year. Under this option, employers would pay a 7.5% payroll tax to help finance Medicare for all for $37.50. So your employers would save money. They could potentially pay you more, but they might just pocket that. Depends on if your boss is cool or not. But that would save them $37.50 a year. That could go to you. You also have the option of a 4% income-based premium paid by households. That would raise $3.5 trillion. And the typical middle-class family would save $4,400 under this plan. So again, 2016 numbers, but the average family paid $5,277 in premiums to private health insurance companies. Under this option, a typical family of 4 earning $50,000 after taking the standard deduction would pay a 4% income-based premium to fund Medicare for all, just $844 a year, saving that family $4,400 a year. And obviously, you're going to just adjust these numbers for our current rates and inflation. Savings from health tax expenditures. Several tax breaks that subsidize healthcare would become obsolete and disappear under Medicare for all. The biggest health expenditures is the preference that excludes employer-paid premiums from payroll and income taxes. It's a significant tax break that would be eliminated under this plan because all Americans would receive healthcare through the new Medicare for all program instead of employer-based healthcare. That raises $4.2 trillion. Make personal income tax more progressive. So if you say you would change the marginal tax rate, which would be 40% for people. I don't know what these numbers would go to now with inflation, but in 2016, income between $250,000 and $500,000 would have a 40% marginal tax rate. That was versus 37%. So it was a 3%. No, that wasn't even a 3% raise, 5% raise. Between $500,000 and $2 million, you have 45% and 50% on $2 million to $10 million. So you could do it that way. You also need to tax capital gains and dividends the same way as income. You could pay for it that way. Limiting tax deductions for the wealthy. You can go through all the different loopholes that they would close here. Make the estate tax more progressive. The estate tax is one of the most pathetic things we've ever done. I don't remember what Trump just raised it to. What is the estate tax threshold now? Like 18 million? $14 million per individual, 28 million for a family. So you just don't have to pay taxes at that point. So getting rid of that, the estate tax is a fucking joke. So we can get rid of that. You can establish a wealth tax on the top 0.1%. That raises $1.3 trillion. You can close the Gingrich-Edwards loophole and create parity for wealthy business owners. That raises $247 billion. You can look at all these. Impose a one-time tax on currently held offshore profits. That's not a bad idea. People are hiding their money. I don't think we'd get any Republicans certainly wouldn't oppose this, right? Because currently you're very upset about Somalis sending money overseas. So certainly you wouldn't care if we taxed offshore profits. That raises $767 billion. The fee on large financial institutions would raise $117 billion. Repealing corporate accounting gimmicks raises $112 billion. You can go through all of this. Why not just make it a flat tax? Because flat taxes are regressive and they don't work. That's why. Flat tax without write-offs does it. Like, you could just do the math on a flat tax without write-offs. It's regressive. It doesn't work. We can't pay off our debt. We can't pay our bills with that. I understand the idea behind a flat tax. Let's make it fair for everybody. It's regressive. It hurts poor people and it benefits rich people, and that exacerbates wealth inequality, which drives up the prices of housing, of food. That drives inflation. You have to be aware of wealth inequality. It does matter. Nobody should be surprised that when we have historic wealth inequality, we have historic inflation. They always go together. Yeah, good point. Flat taxes punish poverty. Thank you. Right. Got through that. Let's go here. Yeah, I want to show Rick Scott. Remember that Rick Scott
you just said
was the largest Medicare scammer or Medicaid. I always forget if it was I think it was Medicaid scammer of all time. This man became a multi-millionaire by stealing from, I think, Medicaid. Somebody correct me if it's Medicare, but I think it was Medicaid. $2 billion. And then Florida said, great job, Rick. We're going to make you a senator now. This is an actual criminal. He's a thief. He actually steals money from Medicare and Medicaid. And he's going to be asked a pretty simple question. Simple question is like, why haven't you done anything about this before?
But the key phrase that you just said is, if we can get it passed. I mean, how does that help a family who is staring down premiums that are going to jump come January? I mean, open enrollment's going to...
What's your plan, Rick? What's your plan, Republicans?
...end in January. What are they supposed to do?
I'm going to do everything I can. I've had a bill, August Pfluger in the House, who runs the Republican Study Committee there. He sponsors it also. So we're going to continue to work on it. But, look, this wasn't caused by Republicans. Obamacare was created, and it was a complete lie. Remember, Obama said you wouldn't lose.
Just more complaining. Just more complaining shit from Republicans. You'll notice that Republicans are quiet today. This is why it's hard to pass new legislation, because Republicans just want to be emotional and hysterical and argue. They want to talk about trans people. They want to talk about blowing up immigrants. They want to talk about using the military. When we get to the brass tacks and we talk about Medicare, this happens every time. The numbers just crater and the Republicans leave. I'm not talking about this.
Lose your doc, you did. I wouldn't lose your plan, you did. You're going to save $2,500 a family. The opposite happened.
But what do you say to people who say Republicans have had 15 years to change that and they haven't done so?
Well, I mean, the Democrats in the last 4 years, they're the ones
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm just going to keep blaming Democrats.
Who created these subsidies instead of fixing it. They created these.
Just me. Actually, you've had multiple people banned from this chat today for trying to get us to talk about trans people instead of what we're talking about. So I appreciate you saying, but I was actually citing things that happened today.
These extra subsidies to mask the cost. Why didn't they fix it? I mean, if you look at it, Obamacare has failed. Okay, I've been talking about fixing healthcare since I got up here. What I appreciate now is,
you notice how all of a sudden they came out of the woodworks. They just want to cry. I brought up the fact that they're not saying anything when we talk about healthcare, and all of a sudden they're talking now. No, we just don't like that you talk over us. You ignore us. Yeah, that's what we're saying. You don't talk when we're talking about policy, but when we're talking about your feelings, you have a lot to say.
There's at least some conversation. Will we get it fixed? I hope so.
But do you think conversation makes people...
Where's the plan, Republicans? Are we ever going to get one here? There's Rick Scott. Rick Scott's got nothing. But then here's what happened. So after Republicans, remember, then they refused to let Dan Goldman vote. They passed their bill, which they know won't pass in the Senate. The Senate's already told them it won't pass. And so all the Democrats and a handful of Republicans said, fuck this. We are not going to just stand by and do absolutely nothing while people lose their health insurance. So now they're going to force Mike Johnson to bring these bills to a vote. They're using a discharge petition. The way that it works in the House is Mike Johnson can decide whether or not to bring a bill up for vote. And he refuses to bring up anything. He doesn't want to do anything. So the only way to get past that is through a discharge petition. And because the Democrats are in the minority, they need Republicans to sign on the discharge petition. And they got Republicans to sign on to a discharge petition. And now all of these Republicans are going to be forced to either put a yes or no vote on whether or not they want their constituents to lose their subsidies.
A Fox News alert, a test vote on a Republican health care bill just passed. That means a final vote later today.
Lolly, remember what I said about you, and remember the rules here, please. You have to respond to what we're saying and not do whataboutism. I don't know how long you've been here, but I've already told you that the Democrats' plan is shitty. I've already told you what the Democrats' plan is. I've already said that I wish they had a different plan, and I've said it's just simply slightly better than the Republicans' plan. So I'm criticizing both. They both suck. Just because we're criticizing Republicans right now doesn't mean you need to shut off your ears and talk about Democrats. Open your fucking ears, Stop just following the party line. Pay attention to what we're doing today, because together we are shitting on both plans. We're pointing out that our government fucking sucks, and we're asking you to support a new plan. So please pay attention.
As Congress is heading out for the holidays and Obamacare.
The ACA does suck. It does suck.
Subsidies expire at the end of the month. Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram has more on what is next. Chad.
Julie, good morning. Well, Congress is not going to fix exploding health care premiums this year. Republicans blocked 4 plans by moderate Republican members who wanted to temporarily extend some Obamacare aid, and those moderate Republicans are fuming. So this is what's happened in just the past hour.
Bonnie's, we got to be better than this. Obamacare sucks. There are some things in Obamacare that I like. Overall, has it brought down prices? No, it hasn't brought down prices. Is it affordable? No. Does it require us to subsidize private health insurance? Yes. I don't like subsidizing private health insurance. I can say that Obamacare is better than the Republicans' plan, but it still sucks. And just like I'm going to criticize Republicans for doing the same thing, standing by a shitty, like a broken system is not the move. Standing by Obamacare, which was incredibly mediocre, is not the move for us. Doubling down on policy that we'll just have to keep putting Band-Aids on is not the move. We need to abandon Obamacare. We need to stop subsidizing private health insurance, and we need to do that with a replacement. We need to give people a replacement for private health insurance, which is single payer.
Or so here, you have 4 Republicans who have now signed on to what's called a discharge petition. This is an effort to go over the head of the Speaker and put your piece of legislation on the floor. This is a discharge petition from Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, to renew the Obamacare.
No, I was not saying Obamacare was great last week. I've never said Obamacare was great last week. It's not great. It's a subsidy for private health insurance.
Subsidies for 3 years. And here are the 4 Republicans who signed on to this. They got to the magic number 218, and that means that they will be able to try to force a vote on this sometime probably after the first of the year. Congress is going to be out later this week, and then this will have to wait until sometime in the new year. Here are the 4 Republicans. Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, Mike Lawler of New York, Rob Bresnahan, a freshman from Pennsylvania, and also Ryan McKenzie of Pennsylvania. Usually these discharge petitions are used by the minority, but what you have here is most minority members, most Democrats, and a few Republicans in the majority now teaming together to try to address this. Some Republicans are very concerned that they might be blamed politically in the midterms for not fixing health care this year.
Good question, Hans. You said, I don't mind care for everyone, but it isn't the same as fire department. We have fire laws to limit risk. How will we control personal health to limit public costs? That's my main argument against it. It's a good question. If you look at health outcomes in places that have single payer, what it does is it aligns the interests, Hans. So if the government is responsible for paying for everybody's health insurance, the best way for us to have cheap insurance is to have a healthy population, right? So that takes all of these legislators who are taking money from everywhere. They are also going to start considering things like what we're putting in food. They might start considering funding healthier lunches for school. They might start talking about like a better education. But even if without all of that, just having access to see a doctor for regular checkups is going to make us healthier. So we're going to catch disease earlier. We're going to have consultation. People aren't that educated on diet and exercise, and people aren't going to see their blood markers before it becomes a problem. For a lot of people, it's almost like 1 month, all of a sudden you wake up and things aren't working anymore, and you're like, wait, but I've been eating like this forever. It'll go away. It's probably nothing. And then you're 6 months down the road, but you didn't have health insurance, so you never consulted with a doctor. So just allowing people to go see a doctor, to get regular screenings, to check for things like heart disease, that matters. But it aligns the interests of the government when they legislate on other things too. That's why you see in a lot of these other countries that have single payer, they don't allow all this shit in their food. Why? Because ultimately they have to pay for that. And they need to pay for single payer, and they want that to be as cost effective as possible. But when you look at countries that do a much better job with their food supply, they also all have single health payer. So I think it's more about aligning the interests of the legislators. Now they don't really have to do that. That makes sense? All right. There we go. Check these. Guys, we're way off. I think Jen's going to start yelling at all of you, I think, soon. So I apologize. I haven't been bringing this up. Laura, thank you. Said RTP Rocks. Cam said, I know why you love Puka. Bosa is on a plane right now to kidnap him and bring him to the Niners. You could take the kid out of BYU, but you can't take the BYU out of the kid. That's true. I do love Puka Nacua. Tanya said, thank you for a great show. Have a great day. Jacob said, Jen, you so purty. Ashley said, to join the oversharing train, I took half a Viagra once, and the blood flow went down there for me, too. All right, Ash. Thank you. What does it do? Never mind. That's probably not the right question to ask on stream. Jared said, also Exmo, and Dad also has lymphoma. I see you, bro. Thanks, Jared. I think I got all those. Awesome. I'll update this in a minute. So there's the discharge petition. This is what they're going to do now. Now they're going to force. So anybody who's up for re-election now is going to be forced to put their name either yes or no on whether or not they're going to extend these subsidies. And then the last one here, actually, I'll skip that. I know that one's kind of old news now. I want to play this, I think. Is this the one? I also wanted to show this. Sorry, I should have showed this earlier. This is gonna come off as really unrelated, and I apologize because I meant to show it when Scott Bessent was maybe with Barry Weiss. But I saw this from Barry Weiss today, advertising for her new show and the new changes at CBS. And I want you to see if you can notice what CBS is doing. Remember, what CBS's claim is that when in hiring Barry Weiss is that they weren't being accurate. So they wanted to bring somebody on to accurately cover the news. And now they're rolling out this ad. And here's what they say they're going to do now. Things that matter. Okay, so they're showing that they're bipartisan because they showed Wes Moore, they showed Sam Altman, they showed J.D. Vance, and now they say the debates that matter. CBS now, here's their new focus. Here are the debates that matter most to Americans. Has feminism failed women? That's number one. God damn it. We got a lot of shit to worry about in this country, but the number one thing we need to worry about is, has feminism failed women? What else? Should Gen Z believe the American dream? Very important. Does America need God? Very fucking important. All the most important stuff that CBS is now going to focus on. The conversations that matter. The things that matter. Brought to you by Bank of America. It's sponsored by a fucking bank. They installed a Zionist to talk about feminism, God, and the American dream, and then they sponsored it by a fucking bank. Yes, Trump's friends bought the news, and this is what they're doing now. They're going to talk about fringe shit that nobody gives a fuck about, and because they know they're not going to get viewers, they have to have a bank sponsor it. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I saw that ad this morning. I was like, what? In fact, I was doing well in the race. Let's see. I think I tweeted it. I don't do a ton of Twitter, but the ratio was getting rough. Where is it? Are we close? No, not bad. 237 likes to 1.5 or 1,500. I think I said right-wing social wars brought to you by a fucking bank. Dude, your whole fucking party has been sold to businesses. Do you know that? Every time Trump throws a party, there's some sponsor. The military celebration was like sponsored by Palantir. Are you aware yet that he has sold like everything to businesses? UFC. I know he said WWE match scheduled at the White House. It's UFC. Yeah. And they're not, by the way, they're not selling tickets. So the UFC event, they won't have tickets. So the UFC is saying, fuck our fans. We're going to give you the greatest card ever. And it's going to be just like they do in Saudi Arabia. It's just going to be whoever Trump invites. They're going to do these UFC fans who have kept UFC afloat forever aren't going to be able to attend the UFC fight that is supposed to be the greatest card that they ever put together because we have to go do something for Donald Trump. Yeah. Bobby Joe, are you still here? Oh, Bobby Joe, you're still here. Oh, bless your heart. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep fighting. This is tough for you. I can't believe you're still here. God bless you. All right. Here it is. Anytime Bernie Sanders starts making sense, you see the attacks on Bernie Sanders. I've seen right-wingers and left-wingers go after Bernie Sanders for this message. And I'm going to pay attention specifically to you Republicans here. And I want to see if you guys have any actual argument against what Bernie Sanders is advocating for here. I want to ask you too, if you will try your very best to keep an open mind here. And I have a couple of questions because Bernie Sanders is going to advocate for some stuff that's going to kill AI, the growth of AI. And I want you to ask yourself this question and see if you can come up with an answer. 2 questions. 1, what is the plan with AI? Once AI does what they say it's going to do, what is the plan for all the jobs that it is going to take? What are we going to do with the people who lose their jobs when AI takes over? And number 2, why is it important for us to win the AI race with China? Now, I know enough about AI that I've studied in the last couple of months to feel like I have a basic understanding. I'm not an expert. I'm throwing this out there now saying I don't have answers to those questions that would make me buy into it. So my answer to those questions is, first of all, what is the plan after AI takes the jobs? The answer is I've never seen a plan. Nobody's ever floated a plan. And the answer to the second question is, why is it important that we beat China? My answer is, I don't fucking know. I have no idea why it's important for us to beat China. It seems like currently in this country, not only this administration, but just like the general public has decided AI is now the most important thing. And nobody seems to know what the outcome is going to be. That's a bizarre place to be in as a country, that we are banking our entire economic future on a technology that we don't fully understand. We can't explain the benefits, and we don't know what we're going to do with the jobs that it displaces. I saw an app for AI therapy the other day. Yeah, crazy. There is actually, like, as people are cutting costs, I read an article the other day about people cutting off their therapist and using like ChatGPT for their therapy, and like the effects that that's having on people, because it will be weaponized by China to do what, Adam? It'll be weaponized by China to do what? China, we can't stop China from having AI. If we, like, you can't even win this race. Right? So it's almost the same as like going to the moon. It was very important for some reason for America to get to the moon first. Can anybody explain to me what we got by going to the moon first? We spent billions of dollars going to the moon. What did we get? Did Russia stop developing space travel? If China has greater AI than USA, you'll be left behind. How will we be left behind? This is why I'm asking these questions. And Republicans, respectfully, I need you to analyze your own answers. Are you saying anything specific, or are you just generically saying things? Because I'm going to be honest with you also. I'm looking at the people who, like David Sachs is tweeting like crazy. I'm looking at the experts' tweets, and they don't seem to have an answer either. We got to beat our chest and say America was first. Yeah. I do think this is a pride thing. We have all Jesus been behind on technology. It must have been a misprint. It's not important to beat China's, but uphold God's 10 commandments and the Constitution. That's the only way to bring back America. We never went to the moon. Being somebody who thinks America, like if you're somebody who says America needs to return back to God, I think it's safe to say you're just a dipshit and you don't want to understand anything new. There's Corvette Girl. What'd you say? Investing in space resulted in a lot of... I understand. Look, investing in space resulted in a lot of inventions. I get that. My question, though, is not, was it good to invest in space travel? My question is, why was it important that we got there first? Because what the tech people are saying is we have to beat China. We have to get there first. Why? Oh, you're saying we've always been behind on technology. It's true. AI is one of those places we've been ahead of China. They're catching us quickly, and they will surpass us. Mostly because they can afford the energy needed to blow past us, because they are investing heavily and continue to invest heavily in renewable energy, which is cheaper. Okay, so can we all agree, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, can we all agree that not one person in this chat has an answer, including me, to why this is important? So now that I play this video, I just wanted to preface it with that. None of us seem to know why this is important. Jen Star said, thoughts and prayers for Bobby Joe. Poor thing. Thank you, Sarcastic Sheila. Mighty Ducks, have you not heard the Puka news? No. What happened to Puka? I know there was something about him like trying to bring podcasters in. Oh, no. What did he? Oh, no. LA Rams star Puka Nacua is receiving criticism after he performed an anti-Semitic touchdown celebration on Aiden Ross's live stream. During the live stream, Ross guided the wide receiver through an anti-Semitic touchdown celebration, which ended with Nacua looking into the camera, rubbing his hands together, a stereotypical gesture indicating greed that Ross fans called his iconic Jewish dance. Ross then asked Nacua to perform this celebration during the Rams game against the Seahawks, and Nacua promised he would. I did not know that. I knew he had done like a live stream. I didn't know. What did he say? When I appeared the other day on a social media live stream, it was suggested to me to perform a specific movement as part of my next touchdown celebration. At the time, I had no idea this act was anti-Semitic in nature and perpetuate harmful stereotypes against Jewish people. I deeply apologize to anyone who was offended by my actions, as I do not stand for any form of racism, bigotry, or hate of another group of people. I don't know. I guess you can be upset with that. I'm biased on this. I know members of the Nacua family. I know some of the racism that they have faced in Utah. I know that the brothers have all had temper problems. Kai, I knew Kai fairly well, which is Puka's cousin, I think. He had a little brother that had some problems. I don't know. I do think that being raised in Utah, I can just say this. I had no idea. I've done it on stream, actually. I don't remember what I said, but I said something that was anti-Semitic on a stream. It was a phrase. I don't even remember what it was. I remember what it was. I said shyster lawyer. I didn't know that was an anti-Semitic trope, and I apologized for it. I probably have to hold that same standard for somebody else. You can believe Puka or not. I'm definitely biased on this one. I'm going to want to believe Puka and his family, but if you don't want to hold that same standard for him, that's fine too. I'm going to want to believe, though, that he didn't know that when he did it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I can say. But you don't. Now you can't. Look, now I can't say it in a way that like that it's an anti-Semitic trope. I think is it wrong to say like what the word is? I think it's just wrong to use it that way, right? Like in explaining what I said, I don't think that is anti-Semitic to explain what I. Okay, thank you. I'm like, fuck. Do I not know these? know these rules? Puka doesn't think concussions are real. Well, yeah, that's probably true too. They're very good at football. They're not known for their education. We'll say that. Their family. Though they all have education, they are not known for that. All right, here's Bernie. Here's what everybody's upset about.
Thanks for joining me. Let us be clear. AI.
I was anti-Semitic all growing up, honestly. I didn't understand it at all. I didn't even really understand to be honest, I didn't even understand like what Judaism was. We made jokes about Jewish people all the time. We made Holocaust jokes. I'm just being honest. Like, growing up in Utah, if there's anybody else here that's in Utah, it was commonplace. Did not understand the impact of that at all. Didn't understand the impact of any racial slurs. When I was a kid, I used racial slurs. I made anti-Semitic jokes. I made sexist jokes. All of those things. It was part of the culture there. It's not right. I feel horrible about it. I don't ever go back to Utah. I don't go back to my class reunions. I'm deeply ashamed of a lot of the things that I did as a kid. But I also think it's important to own that and not pretend that like I wasn't that. I've said it before. If Twitter was available when I was in high school or just out of high school, I would be incredibly cancelable. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, all of it was wrong, but that is kind of the culture there.
And robotics are the most transformative technologies in the history of humanity and will have a profound impact on the lives of every man, woman, and child in our country. Just a few points that we need to be thinking about. One, who is aggressively pushing these technologies? Well, surprise, surprise. It happens to be the very wealthiest people on earth, people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, Bill Gates, and other multi-billionaires.
We have to keep pointing this out, but if we take like NVIDIA, their market cap is, we've done this before, NVIDIA market cap is $4.23 trillion. It's essentially basically saying what their company is supposed to be worth. And their profits are, and their net income for this year is going to be $72 billion. So the reason that Bernie Sanders and myself, like I'm against these AI data centers too, is these are not profitable companies. They have no way to pay any of this stuff back. I don't know why we're investing in these companies. There's no ROI here. This is all hype. People that are investing in NVIDIA, if you've bought stock in NVIDIA, that's fine. If you've made a bunch of money, that's fine. But it was all speculation. You did it because you and everybody else decided this stock was going to be hot. It has nothing to do with their actual revenue. Their revenue does not match their valuation.
So here is a very simple question I'd like you to think about. Do you believe that these guys, these multi-billionaires, are staying up nights worrying about what AI and robotics will do to the working families of our country and the world? Well,
Robin said, protecting you from Jen. Thank you. Jared said also, I read that one from Jared. Thank you.
I don't think so. I think that these very, very rich men want even more wealth and even more power. And for a whole bunch of reasons, that is very dangerous. Number two, what will AI and robotics mean economically for the working class of this country?
We're going to have to 1.25 speed him. I love you, Bernie. I love you as much as I can love a politician, but we're going to have to speed you up a bit, bud.
Well, don't listen to me. Listen to the people who are developing those technologies. Elon Musk recently said, quote, AI and robots will replace all jobs. Working will be optional, end quote. Bill Gates predicted that humans, quote, won't be needed for most things, end quote. Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, warned that AI could lead to the loss of half of all entry-level white-collar jobs. Question.
I have a question about ideology here. He sped up. He still sounds normal. He sounds a little slower. He still sounds too slow. Ideologically, though, I have this question with Republicans because this one confuses me too. When I look at AI, like if somebody said AI is going to come in, it's going to take most people's jobs, and you won't have to work. You can kind of just do what you want. I'm all in for that. I'm not of the belief that you need to have a job or a career to find purpose in life. I think that you could find purpose in a lot of things. I think that eliminating people's need to work would be a great thing. But I don't think this jives with conservative ideology. I think that every time you talk about like cutting spending for poor people, cutting SNAP or Medicare or Medicaid, or if you were trying to get rid of Social Security, any sort of safety net spending that we talk about, conservatives always say like it creates leeches. And they don't benefit society, and it creates so I don't understand ideologically how you can think that but be behind this system. Because the only option for this system to make it work is that once it's in place, we all get UBI, or we all have free food or free housing or something. Like, we all have to live. So if it was Republicans and Democrats saying, here's what we're going to do, we're going to risk our future on AI, here's how AI is going to replace your jobs, and here's how we are then going to pay for your existence. You don't have to work, but you have a house, you have food, you can kind of do what you want. I'd actually be all in for that. I'd be fine with that. But it's confusing that it's the right that's pushing this, but they are ideologically opposed to handouts, while Trump is giving handouts for this program. And just help me understand it. Help me understand your ideology, because it seems really inconsistent here. Trump now just announced, Scott Besson actually did the announcement officially, that kids are going to get kids born from the beginning of next year moving forward are going to get $1,000, and that $1,000 is going to be invested. It's going to be invested in these AI companies. They're doing a bailout in front of you, and what they're doing is they're tying your kids' futures to AI. But are they going to pay for our future after that? Are we investing this money in the name of your children and creating a world where they can't afford to live? Because the same people pushing for this don't want to pay for for poor people now. Are we expecting these oligarchs then suddenly to be benevolent and trickle that money down and pay for poor people? This is why I'm frustrated today when I go online and I see Democrats specifically attacking Bernie Sanders. These are good questions. These are questions that nobody is answering. And I am hesitant to go down a road where not a single member of our government can answer very simple questions as to where we are going with this. And they're saying, shut the fuck up, go all in. And Republicans largely are like, yeah, we got to beat China. Hooray, we're Team USA. They're Team China. We will win. But what do you get if you win? You just get your job taken away? Yeah, Al, that's good clarification. The money has to be invested in specific accounts in the stock market, which Donald Trump gets to direct. So they're going to, and Scott Besson in his announcement basically said, like, yeah, it's going to go towards AI.
AI and robotics eliminate millions of jobs and create massive unemployment.
Thanks,
How
Jackie.
will people survive if they have no income? And I don't want to break the bad news to you. I know it won't shock you, but very few members of Congress are seriously thinking about this. 3, something I worry about a whole lot, and that is that millions of kids in this country are becoming more and more isolated from real human relationships and are getting their emotional support from AI. Think for a moment about a future when human beings are not interacting with each other and are spending virtually all of their time with devices instead of people.
Do we have a plan for that? That's a scary thing. I've got a daughter. Anybody who has kids, you can see like the impact that social media and even stuff like YouTube, like I can see the impact that has on my daughter. I can see how, as somebody with ADHD, like she almost certainly has it, She tends to like be attracted to YouTube shorts, stuff that's constantly going. But it's just dumbing her down. She just sits there like a zombie sometimes. I see that, and it's separating us from people. Too late on that one. I hear you, Larry. Too late, maybe, but we should try and reverse the problem. And I do think that this is like I think this is an American thing for sure. I can't speak to other countries. I know it's a conservative thing. But historically, when I've talked about like the future with my friends and family, they all think that everything's just inevitable. Like there's nothing we can ever do to change anything. Conservatives are very defeatist. They're just they always say like, oh, the rich are just going to have the money. There's nothing we can do. So I'm not going to waste any time complaining or trying to change it. I'm just going to deal with it. And it seems like that's what a lot of people are doing with AI right now. They're just saying it's inevitable. Fuck it. I give up. There are a lot of people here saying it. Yeah, Australia banned social media for under 16-year-olds. I would be on board with that too.
Is that the kind of future you want? Well, not me. Needless to say, there is a whole lot about AI and robotics that needs to be discussed, needs to be analyzed. But one thing is for sure, this process is moving very, very quickly, and we need to slow it down. We need all of our people involved in determining the future of AI, and not just a handful of multi-billionaires.
And this is where China is actually doing a better job than we are. So China's catching up to us. But China limits, not only legally, but culturally. China understands the implications here. And so China already has put laws into place to limit the effects this is going to have on children. And China is investing through profits that they've made through other companies. Now, it is true. China doesn't give a fuck if it comes to America. Like, China has different rules for tech once it comes to America. They'll loosen those regulations. They don't give a fuck if America gets dumber. That works for them. But it seems like right now we're like, we have to beat China. Are we going to put any restrictions on this? No. Like, China wins either way here. It's not like whoever, like, you don't win here. But being in the lead provides you no benefit, and China's doing it in a much safer way for their population than we are. This feels an awful lot like a very self-inflicted wound that we're headed down, and we can't get most of America to agree on this. Most people in America are upset with Bernie Sanders. Most people that are talking about this are upset with Bernie Sanders right now. And he's asking very good questions that none of them have answers to. And rather than acknowledging that they don't have answers, they're just getting mad at him.
That is why, for a start, I will be pushing for a moratorium on the construction of data centers that are powering this unregulated sprint to develop and deploy AI. This moratorium will give democracy a chance to catch up with the transformative changes that we are witnessing and make sure that the benefits of these technologies work for all of us, not just the wealthiest people on earth. Thank you very much.
You can see, like, if I go here, I mean, even this, even Brian Krasnstein, my fear is China is leaping ahead of us, though. I asked him, how's it your fear? Walk it through me. If China beats us in the AI race, what are the repercussions? Nothing. This video is a great example of why you should be forced to demonstrate even a basic understanding of something before trying to regulate it. Translation, I want China to win the AI race. Authoritarian restrictions on private instruments, seizure of control over infrastructure, bureaucratic choke points that decide who may innovate and who must wait, political permission, replace everybody. Everybody's just generically going after him. Not one person in these comments is answering a question. And you guys, you're not either. We don't have answers to these questions. Tex, I haven't heard from Tex for a while. Tex might have went away finally. I'm not sure. I think the fuck you, fuck your family, fuck your brothers, and fuck Nick Fuentes, that might have done it for him. Johnny said daily. Thanks, Johnny. Hope you're doing well, bud. Corvette Girl Robin said, I manage a software development team for a radio company, and we're being pushed to implement AI, but at the same time, advertising our talent is human, mainly automating business processes, sales, contracts, social ads, support, etc. Yeah, implement AI so that they can fire you eventually. This guy Fox says, hey, Trump finally did something good. He just rescheduled the devil's lettuce. Oh, did he do that today? I talked to my friend yesterday who works in the industry. He won't tell me how much money they had to spend to lobby. Nobody will tell me in that industry. But they've been pushing for this for a while. It's a good time for Trump to do it. Trump's doing a lot of stuff right before the Epstein list. As I previously stated, I believe it's time to end needless arrests and incarcerations of adults for small amounts of marijuana for personal use. We must also implement smart regulations while providing access for adults to safe tested product. As a Floridian, I'll be voting yes on amendment. Wait, this is an old one, isn't it? That was from before. Okay, yeah. This it?
I'm telling you, he looks better than he did 20 years ago. But I don't want to go through what you went through to get problems and severely degrimed and all of the. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you very much. Suffering from extreme pain, incurable diseases, aggressive cancers, seizure disorders, neurological problems, and more, including numerous veterans with service-related injuries and older Americans who live with chronic medical problems that severely degrade their quality of life. And it's so really, I mean, I can't tell you, I think I probably have received more phone calls on this, on doing what we're doing. I don't think I received any calls on the other side of it, but hopefully this reclassification, which by the way polls at 82%, will help many of those patients live a far better life. We're joined today by Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's doing a fantastic job, Administrator of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
All right, well, I don't want to go through that. So they rescheduled. That's good. That's a good thing that Trump did today. I'm on board with that. I'm a fan of that. That was coming. It's honestly, it's kind of sad. I think that was a huge miss from the Biden administration too. They had the votes for that. They had the support for that. It would have helped him. Biden probably should have done that on his way out. That might have helped Harris, especially with the criticism that she got about like enforcing drug laws in California. They should have been done a long time ago. But cool. Glad we got something good done. Yeah, we're about done. Alyssa, thank you very much. I got one more video and then we're going to get out of here. Jen wants me to remind you we could knock out the gift goal with a quick dollar train on our way out. Like I said, I got one more video for you, then I got to go, and then we'll see you tomorrow morning for Friendly Friday. How long is this actually? This one's long. We're going to do that one tomorrow. Go up. Is this it? Oh yeah, this was the announcement from Besant here about what they're going to do with this money for kids.
Trump accounts are the president's gift to the American people. They represent perhaps the most groundbreaking policy innovation of modern times, and they are shaped by a simple vision: every American a shareholder. When every American owns a share of the most powerful economy on earth, every American will benefit from our nation's growth.
This is like the skin in the game argument. This is how my church kept people. They tell you to pay 10% of your income, then you have skin in the game. Sunken cost fallacy. If you have a lot of this happens with investors a lot. It's happening with Nvidia right now, where they're clearly struggling. They're clearly not making enough money, but the stock price is staying like relatively static because people have invested in it and they want the price to go up. So they're not going to abandon this. Besant knows this. Besant and Trump both know that the way to get to prop up these AI companies is to get everybody invested. And you can't force people to invest, but you can force their children to, with $1,000 each. So they're going to throw this money in. This came from some of it came from the Dale family, who then got to use it as a tax write-off. this is how you get people to continue to buy it. It's a smart move, honestly, for them to get the type of buy-in that they want. But again, I don't think that we have answers on how this is going to benefit all of us eventually.
Every American will capture a portion of the productivity gains brought about by AI, robotics, and other world-changing technologies. And every American will be invested in the free market system, and most importantly, its continued success. Trump would count.
There you go. So that's how they're going to do it. That's what I have. The other video I have is going to take too long, and I do have to go pick up my daughter today. I don't think there was anything else I needed to cover. Double check real quick. No, we're good. All right. We can knock out the dollar train if you want while we're going, but we'll see you tomorrow morning. Remember, if you're new here, on Friday we do Friendly Friday, so the last hour of the show. If you're friendly, you can come up here and talk to us. You just have to be a member of the Discord, which is free. If you need an invite to the Discord, just in the chat, ask a mod to send you an invite to the Discord. Then a reminder, if you're here right now and you're watching, would you mind real quick just checking if you're on Twitch or YouTube and making sure you're subscribed? If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. That'll make that way you know when we go live. Last night we had an evening live. Sometimes I'm out in the wild and we broadcast that. But if you subscribe and turn on notifications, you'll know when we go live other times. Monday, we're going to be watching 2 more episodes of Dope Sick together in the Discord. So make sure that you're a paid subscriber either on YouTube or Twitch. We'll see about TikTok. For right now, we're permabanned on TikTok, so I don't know how that's going to go. What's up, Jen?
I was just saying thanks, Savannah. Thanks, Savannah, for the $5 train. And then Jumar said, did you take some Blue Chew, or are you just happy to see me?
Danielle, I'll check my DMs. I'll have a little bit of time later today. J-Rez said, dollar train only if I can ride it. Might need more than $1. That feels low. I do have some self-respect. Might need to be more than $1 to ride it. Yeah, no, I do have a backup account on TikTok, so there will still be some in the wild, and until that gets banned, I don't know how a permaban goes. I've been permabanned once before, and it got overturned after about a month, so I have no idea. Jared said, since you thanked me twice, love the show. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate it.
You guys, if you want to send me a DM on Discord, it's the same as Venmo, and I can get invites over. So Jen with 2 N's, Dub with 2 B's, the number 1.
There you go. Natalie, thanks for joining the Dollar Train. Denise, thank you for joining the Dollar Train. Robin, thank you for protecting me from Jen. Get it over here. Got that. And thank you for the 100 bits over on Twitch. Rockafile. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow morning, every weekday morning, 8:30. Oh, you back?
Yeah, thanks, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. Every weekday morning, 8:30 a.m. to noon Pacific Standard Time, right here, wherever you're watching. Take care of yourselves, drink water, compliment yourselves, stay cute and cool, and have a great summer.